Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to Beer Dweebs United. It's been a while since we've been here. About 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left us.
My anniversary happened, then my vacation, my days off have changed. A lot of fun things. Well, they've changed just for the next 2 weeks. So yeah, we're here. We have a lot of topics because I've been saving them up for 3 weeks. Some of them Lee touched on last week, but we'll revisit them just to get Lee going. He looks so happy about it too.
That's right, Rhino just made you redundant. No.
So yeah, what are you guys going to be drinking tonight?
Well, while Nick gets his shit together there, I'm going to be drinking a Propeller Rye IPA.
Nice. I'm going to be drinking from Flying Monkeys 12 Minutes to Destiny, which I fucking love.
What is it?
It is a hibiscus raspberry ale. Well, sorry, lager. It's a...
That is probably pretty good, actually. Is that Flying Monkeys, was it?
Yep.
Nice.
Could you not tell by the flashy colors?
Yeah, I suppose. I'm going to be drinking Red Racer's IPA for Autism, which is just the regular Red Racer. And then I'm going to follow that up with a Noir de Chamblay.
Sweet. I'm all for autism as well. Too many people are against it. It's terrible.
And we have Lee here, everybody. Lee. They'll be here.
I haven't even started the worst shit yet.
He'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip your server.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost, we will go through our normal beer news. Muddy York Brewing Company opened up their retail shop on well, it would have been July 1st. Awesome thing about it is they sell bottles. So I really need to get somebody to get out there for me because I won't be in that area anytime soon. But they have Muddy York. They have the Muddy York Porter. They have the Diving Horse Pale Ale and the Unearthed Amber Ale to start off with. So all really pretty much up my alley right there.
Cool. Steve Matthews here. How you doing, Matt?
Oh, hanging in there, man. How about yourself?
Good. What are you drinking?
Fegley Brewing. It's local to me. The Insidious. The Insidious I sent you. Right, you got that right? Yeah, you and Paul did the side by side. They made a wee heavy. It's a wee heavy. It's nice.
Sweet.
Nice. Sorry I couldn't join in last night to listen up. We started doing up our pool reviews, so we did a bunch of pool reviews last night. We played back and forth between the normal cameras and the two underwater cameras. We've been having fun.
It looked like a good fucking time. I tell you how fucking humid and disgusting it is down here. I wish I was doing pool reviews.
Oh, it's not humid up here. It was beautiful, and yeah, we had a good time. We had we recruited ourselves a 15-year-old kid to swim around with the underwater camera for some of the reviews.
Nice.
Because putting that on the raft wasn't working because people would jump in the pool and then the raft would go away.
You need to get one of those like leashes that they put on surfboards and like attach to your like ankle. That way the raft kind of just stays close.
Or you just tell everyone to stay out of the fucking pool until the review's done.
Yeah, that's true.
Could do that too. So more beer news out there is Amsterdam releases a pair of Adventure Brews at their retail stores. So Adventure Brews are like their special one-offs. So their first Adventure Brew is called Stark Pilsner. Ooh, a Pilsner as an Adventure Brew. It's very adventurous to make a Pilsner, I must say. Very adventurous.
How adventurous is it?
So adventurous that it's 5.8% alcohol and it's a Czech-style Pilsner described as a refreshing golden Pilsner with a rich body.
So it's Pilsner. It's Pilsner Urquell with a bit more alcohol.
Yeah.
Stark Pilsner. Was winter's coming?
Stark.
Lose your head over that one.
Oh my god! I don't even watch that stupid show, and I know that fucking joke.
Also, out in 650 milliliter bottles is Shapeshifter, a 10% ABV strong ale brewed in collaboration with the Indie Ale House and aged in cognac and Madeira barrels for 5 months. Now, see that That is an adventure brew right
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I was walking into Amsterdam, okay, I was walking in to buy one of these, and I walked in and they said, hey, you missed out on the shapeshifter, but we have this. I would tell them to fuck themselves. Yeah, exactly.
And I'd be like, how about you shapeshift that back into a real fucking beer?
What else do we have? Wellington releases their new Welly one-off and announces their 30th anniversary event. Nice. So this one is their Heathers, which is a poison-free wit beer, is what they call it.
I usually like my wits with poison, so.
I know. And they will, on September 26th and 27th, Wellington will be hosting 30, which is their anniversary cask beer festival, featuring 30-plus one-off casks.
Oh, wow. Shit.
And you know what? I kind of want to go. I think I may be booking one of my days off for that.
That actually sounds pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anyone in the Ottawa area wants to go to Guelph in the Ontario, Niagara region, but especially wants to go to Guelph with me on September 26th or 27th, let's get chatting.
I might have to fly back up.
Yeah. Hurry Hard Amber Lager is coming this autumn. Hurry Hard Amber Lager is going to be made by Triple Bogey. Triple Bogey is a Triple Bogey lager. So I wonder what beer they're just rebranding for this, because Triple Bogey Lager is just a rebranded Golden Horseshoe Ale. Golden Horseshoe Lager from Great Lakes. It's brewed by Great Lakes. It's brewed to the exact same recipe and just rebranded. So I'm curious what Hurry Hard Amber is going to be. I'm trying to think off the top of my head what GLB's Amber is, if they have one. Somebody, if anyone's watching that knows what their Amber is, tell me, because that's probably what this is going to be, just rebranded. Because these guys don't actually think up their own recipes. They don't even hire a brewmaster. They buy the batch and then pay a royalty on top of the batch.
Fuck them.
They're basically a full-on marketing company, but hey, it works. It works for them.
I guess it does, but why would I want to buy the same beer from them when I could just buy it from the real brewery?
For cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Bose Madamite's New Brew Gruit returns with LCBO distribution. We actually just reviewed this yesterday at the pool. This is actually a really, really good Gruit. And the joke came up after we were done reviewing it, because we had a few people that don't do reviews there that were drinking the beers with us and making fun of the fact that we could taste things and all that. They were reading the ingredients and they go, "Oh, that's what I was tasting. It was Bodrick root. I didn't know." So the joke came up with, just everything they'd read on the ingredients from then on. Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
PI Brewing's Vic Park Hops series continues with Nelson Savine, so that's actually kind of cool for you Maritimers.
No, Maritimers in Prince Edward Island, maybe.
Here.
PI Brewing gets some beers outside of PEI, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I doubt they get any of those special ones.
Yeah, you'd probably have to go to Charlottetown for that.
Yeah. God, who wants to go to Prince Edward Island? Fuck that place.
Big Rock and Last Best release a collaboration brew #1. So Big Rock has done this collaboration beer. It is a 6.1% beer, simply named Collaboration Beer #1.
Big Rock, it'll probably suck.
Did they make it with Brad? Tell me they made it
No,
with
but
Brad.
actually the can is just a pure white can that says Collaboration Brew 1 in tiny letters on it.
They should have called it Big Rock Supremacy and white can white supremacy. A little subtle.
Great Lakes Limp Puppet is hitting LCBO stores this week.
Okay.
I got a Limp Puppet sometimes. I don't know about you guys. Not all the time, just sometimes. Like right now. Second Wedge Brewing secures its location and plans an autumn opening in Uxbridge, Ontario. So it's great to see more little towns in Ontario getting their own little brewery. Whether or not it'll be great, or whether or not it'll be like the Perth Brewery from Perth, who knows. But I mean, the Perth Brewery, the cans were like $2.05 a can, so I can't actually bitch about that because it was fine for the price I paid.
Cool.
Redline Brewhouse is debuting in Barrie. Hopefully one of our Barrie guys is around and has tried their stuff. It looks like they're actually canning right off the bat because there's pictures of them holding cans. I was actually talked to about Redline Brewing when I was in Barrie from both the guys at Barnstormer and the guys at Flying Monkey saying, hey, there's a new brewery opening up. You got to come and try it. And I'm actually kind of curious how that's going to go. And I'm kind of curious how Barrie is going to do because, I mean, there's so many things around Barrie. You have Muskoka, you have Gravenhurst, you have all that stuff near them. Plus you have Flying Monkeys, which is the biggest brewery around them. And then you have Barnstormer already set, and now you have a new brewery coming in, but it's another just like Barnstormer, it's going to be a brew house / eatery. So I'm curious how that's going to go. And Flying Monkeys is actually opening up an eatery as well. So they're all going to be kind of brew pubs, and that's I think that might hurt them once Flying Monkeys opens one.
Good, yeah.
Only due to the fact that they have the most support and most loyal following in Barrie because they've been around the longest.
Yeah.
Cartwright Springs Brewery opened its retail store the day after I left town. I think they didn't want me to go in and buy anything from them. That is in Pakenham, Ontario, so right around the corner from my hometown. I was actually sleeping at my buddy's place about 10 minutes from their retail store the day I left. So if I had known, we could have gone there first before we left.
By the way, Jay wants an invite.
Eight.
And Winter is coming, says, cheers, guys, I'm drinking some Bellwoods for the first time tonight.
And how are you liking it?
And what are you drinking from Bellwoods?
Yeah, which Bellwoods?
There's lots of Bellwoods. Matt's had a couple Bellwoods. This one is actually... This brewery offends me. I want to make a human rights complaint. No, it does. Blind Man Brewing is opening this autumn in central Alberta. So, Blind Man Brewing is makers of Central Alberta's craft beer, and I guess that tagline can work until another brewery opens up. But this is in Lacombe, Alberta. So, Blind Man Brewing, they're going to first... it's opening up on the property of a local family's greenhouse. Okay, yeah. They're going to come out with an IPA, of course, and a Saison, of course, and a Session Ale, of course. And that's going to be their first ones. They're starting with a 15-barrel brew house, so that's great. They won't have to grow anytime soon. But yeah, I love Blind Man Brewing. I love the name. I just caution them because, Alberta over to BC is known for stopping things like, say, Albino Rhino beer, which,
all kinds of sensitive little bitches over there.
Yeah, so
looking for trigger warnings.
And that's a trigger warning for some people. Oh, Flying Boats Brewing launches in Shadiac, Nova Scotia.
Shadiac.
No, Brunswick. Sorry, New Brunswick.
I'm pretty sure that's New Brunswick.
I corrected myself, Mister. I have earplugs in.
Yeah.
They're starting with the Picnic Train, Whitbeer, and the Dixie Clipper IPA.
Interesting.
At least they have a wit beer. I mean, to go along with everybody's IPA. They could have had a Saison in IPA.
Hey, you never know. It might be the best IPA ever made, so you just shut your mouth.
It might be, but I wouldn't even care anymore. To be honest, I'm at that point. Like we went to 9 breweries in Ottawa, and every single one of them had 1 to 3 IPAs. And it's just I just don't care anymore. Like, there's so many of them out there, and yeah, there's some really good ones, but open up with something else.
It's pretty much now to the point where it's like drinking just about every macro lager under the sun. You really gotta dig hard for a good, really spectacular one now.
Maybe like Feeder Wa in northern New Brunswick and open up with a Bier de Garde and an ice box.
Yeah. See, that's something cool that would bring me in.
It is really cool. But I mean, to be fair, they've got more they've already got like an install base kind of hard liquors, so they've got a real point to move from. They don't have to produce a pale lager to appease the crowds because they've already got a source.
There are guys that are opening up, like a lot of these breweries. Like I said, in Ottawa, there was 9 of them, and they all had more. You're already in a place. Ottawa now is turning into Toronto. There's breweries popping up everywhere. There is 15 brick and mortar breweries, and there's like 40 breweries operating in Ottawa. I'm sorry, you don't have room to keep coming in with pale lagers, IPAs, and saisons. Move the fuck on. There's already like 45 of them to choose from. You don't need a 46th.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you going to differentiate yourself from the others? Like it's mind-boggling that these guys are going in. Yeah, maybe 3 years ago when there was 4 breweries, it would be a good idea to come in with that because that's the in thing right now. But you have to be different than everybody else.
I think the difference in being different is just make fucking good shit. You know what I mean? Like everybody makes like very fucking cookie cutter. Let's play the safe card. Fucking, I'm gonna make whether it's a pale ale. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. They're just trying to make stuff that they know will sell. Bring the fucking goods. Bring the heat. Fucking separate yourself through your fucking product, regardless of style.
That's actually a good way to look at it. I mean, if you're gonna, go ahead and bring your pale lager out, but make it a damn good one.
Yeah, just make good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the thing I hate even more is you see established craft breweries that have been around for years and they've been making really interesting beers. And as much as I like going back to simplicity and like just simple, really great tasting beers, you see them make like a blonde or something like that isn't even all that spectacular for a blonde. And then you're just like, really? Is that what you're doing this year? You're making this some substandard blonde beer after you've made like awesome imperial stouts and shit like that? Like, is that really what you're focusing some of your tank space to? You know, like, really?
But even big companies, fucking Guinness is coming out with a fucking double IPA. You know what I mean? Like, fucking even like huge companies are just like, okay, we have to fucking do this shit now. You know, Sam Adams fought it off for the longest fucking time. You know what I mean?
Howdy.
Although it's a bit of a novelty for Guinness, isn't it? Because they've been basically known for one style most of their entire history.
The last like 6 years, Guinness has been trying to play we haven't fully been considered macro, so let's start bringing out this stuff for the fence sitters. And, you know, some of the stuff works out well. I haven't tried their blonde yet, but some of the stuff works out well, some of it doesn't, but who cares? It's
that black lager was terrible.
See, yeah. I didn't mind the black lager. My biggest hatred of the black lager was that they had Guinness's name on it instead of either Harp or Smithwick's or any of the other brands that they.
It wasn't good.
I never reviewed it, but if based off memory, my review would go: if you poured tepid water in an ashtray and drank the water out of the ashtray, that's what it tasted like.
Close enough, yeah.
I like it.
So just to finish off our new brewery stuff here, Troubled Monk Brewery opened up in June. Their retail store is now fully open. They're offering cans, growlers, a few bottles. They're offering 3 brands. This is in Red Deer, Alberta, that is. They have their Golden Gates Golden Ale, their Pesky Pig Pale Ale, their Open Road American Brown Ale, and their Homesteader Saison. Just to continue with the chat we've had about what everybody opens with.
Okay, and we should just
say good day to Jay.
Yeah, we got Jay in here. What are you drinking tonight, sir?
Hello. Well, I popped open. It's a twist cap, but it's called St. Arnold Divine Reserve 15.
Okay.
From Houston, Texas. It's a reissue of their Divine Reserve number 5. It's which originally came out in 2007. It's let's see, 10.1% alcohol, 46 IBU, Russian Imperial Stout.
Nice. And Twisties, man, who cares? Duda Ciel is all Twisties. That's great beer.
I don't really even care about it.
Yeah, St. Arnold has always resisted the demand that they do fry caps. I know a beer used to all be twist caps, but people were saying, "Oh, that's gauche," you know, to have twist caps. So they felt like they needed to go to fry caps to fit in, so they changed it.
Yeah, and that was the exact same thing everybody said about 5 years ago about cans. Now everybody's fucking clamoring over each other to throw shit in cans.
Oh yeah, everybody's got it.
We got Ethan Flair, the mustache one in here. What are you doing, baby? What are you drinking?
I'm not drinking anything right now. I'm just.
Oh, get the fuck off the chat.
That's a pretty nice room you're in there, Ethan.
Yeah, at my brother's apartment in North Carolina right now.
I thought you were in an insane asylum for a second.
Yeah, does your brother live in a rubber room?
I'm in a panic room right now because all the fucking yelling at me.
And you have a
Max Headroom with the way the background is just the basic shape and
Yeah, the two-tone and the angle.
beer.
But I did pick up a couple good things while I'm down here, though. But and hopefully be drinking tonight.
North Carolina, man. You should find some good shit down there, baby.
Yeah, they got a. I picked up a bottle of barrel-aged Bigfoot barley wine and some old stock Cellar Reserve 2013. But other than that, I mean, there's some old, local stuff I'm gonna pick up tomorrow probably. But
Are you close to any of the, like, there's that whole location where all the new breweries are kind of popping up?
Where did I put my beer?
Like the new old breweries, like Lagunitas and not Lagunitas, fucking Oscar Blues and.
No, Oscar Blues. We're right on the coast. So and Oscar Blues, or Verd or whatever, North Carolina is. It's like way inland. It's like on the. It's on the southern end, but it's on all the way on the other side of the state.
Hey, Ethan, you want to try some bad beer from North Carolina? Buy a bunch of stuff from French Broad. Oh, those guys make the most outlandishly bad beer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's.
I saw a bunch of brewery Eau de Tarte or whatever. I saw that. And I mean, I saw some other stuff too that I don't really see in Ohio, but it's crazy. They get Thirsty Dog over here. So
Thirsty Dog gets pretty big distribution though, doesn't it?
Yeah. They got the Great Bernese barley wine down here. I was like, holy crap! So.
If you want to try something that's remarkably bad though, but it's interesting. But it's really bad. Get French Broad.
French Broad.
Yeah.
I'll look at it. I saw the Steel Reserve 211 with the red lettering on it.
Oh, yeah. That's way better than anything French Broad made.
I saw that. I was gonna pick it up. I was thinking about picking it up, but I didn't. We were coming through West Virginia, or Virginia, I think, and I saw that at a gas station.
It's a good imperial lager. I like the audacity of that beer because on the can it says, "We think that this is one of the best beers on the planet."
Yeah.
That's much like Molson's little sign about how Mad Jack is voted the best beer in the world by other brewers.
Oh man, I could strangle the fucking marketing person who thought that one up. I mean, they just need to be killed for being outright liars.
Who is that company in Inyokern, California? They make remarkably bad beers, like 10% alcohol beers that taste like they're 1% alcohol. And
Well, I think that would be an amazing beer.
That would be great.
yeah, but you could drink the whole 22-ounce bottle and you don't feel it. It's like it literally does only have 1% alcohol, although it claims it's 10%. That's Indian Wells Brewing, yeah. Oh, they make some.
You say Wells?
Indian Wells Brewing. I've had so many of their beers, and I had a bunch of French Broad beers that I bought, and you have to admire that they could actually have the gall to put that on the market. You do have to admire that. And to even write things on the label that say that the beer is good and all that, so I do have to give them credit for just having the gall to put that in front of people.
Put that in people.
There's things I like to put in people.
Yeah, we got two comments here real quick from Winter's Coming. He says he went to the Barrie Craft Beer Fest this past weekend and ended up checking out Redline. They had 4 offerings available, 3 of which will be canned day one. They had a 5.01 blonde ale, which was just a standard blonde. They had Clutch Pale Ale, which has some decent hop bite, and a strong ale, which is an interesting debut style. They also had a yet-to-be-named IPA that I honestly don't remember much of. They said he also says a buddy of mine that lives near the brewery picked him up Wizard Wolf.
Okay, that's a good one.
Farmhouse.
Yeah.
Cat Lady IPA, and the Stout, which are all fairly.
I haven't had the Stout, but of those other 3, I like both of them except for Cat Lady.
And he says he's hoping to check out some of their barrel-aged stouts, porters this winter if I can get a hold of them.
Would you like to hear an interesting and very short story?
Sure. Let's hear an interesting and very short story.
Okay. Last month, I went to Brooklyn. I met up with 3 other guys. We did a bunch of beer sampling. One beer they got me to try blind. I didn't know what it was. It was in a glass. They said, check this out. What do you think it is? I said, well, it's obviously an IPA. Seems to have a lot of alcohol. It had a lot of good attributes. And I said, this is an A beer, A+ beer. It's great. And the guy kept saying, well, do you notice any special ingredient in it? And I said, not really. It just tastes like double IPA, but it's fantastic, And he kept quizzing me on that, and I said, I don't detect anything. And then it turned out it was grapefruit sculpin. But I never detected any grapefruit in it. But I think if he'd have told me beforehand, I might have. That makes me think sometimes that we pick up things because we know it's in there, but if we don't know it's in there, we don't pick it up. I don't know, but I was shocked. Tasted just like regular old.
Different when we're actually looking for it,
Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of a blind taste test in the first place, really.
Right. I didn't detect any grapefruit in that Ballast Point grapefruit sculpin. So.
Because you can mentally condition yourself to, whether you're actually picking up the flavor or not, you can sometimes even trick yourself into thinking that you're picking it up.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'm glad he did it blind. It was an interesting little experience.
No, have you had the habanero sculpin yet, though?
I've only had the Ballast Point sculpin and Ballast Point grapefruit sculpin. We don't get those beers here, so I really don't have much.
Get yourself a habanero sculpin. You won't mistake it. It'll fucking burn your asshole inside out.
The grapefruit one is pretty good. It sells pretty heavy around here. So.
Yeah, we can't keep grapefruit or base sculpin in stock around here.
Yeah.
It comes in stock.
I've never had any of the sculpin, so you guys can shut the fuck up.
It's just really expensive though.
I can't get.
I had some ghost pepper salsa today, though.
Was it from who's that? What, Miss Renfrew's?
Now I was working at the store, and we do carry Miss Renfrew's ghost pepper.
That's a good salsa.
Oh man, that shit kills me. I love it so much.
It's really good. I ate a bunch of that one day, and I had to keep wiping my face with a towel. But I did. But what we had was Mathern's. It's contract made. Mathern's doesn't really make their own stuff, but it was Mathern's ghost pepper salsa, which was a lot hotter and more intense than the Miss Renfrew's. So it was really interesting. I mean, it was good though. I was working, so I couldn't just sit there eating it, But I was impressed. I would like to have a ghost pepper beer, maybe. I don't really like spicy beers. I love spicy food, but when I drink beer,
I'll make another ghost pepper dark ale for you.
The one we had at Rhinos Fest 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was
last year.
How was it?
That was badass. And it wasn't super hot or anything either. It was pretty damn spicy. It had a pretty spicy kick, but it was mostly just kind of the smoky flavor.
That sounds good.
Does anybody else have that fucking crazy one? The Ghostface Killer?
Yeah.
They sell that around here. Is that any good?
No, it's not good.
No.
You should try it, but it's not good.
What's
It's
bad?
it's like the later Wu-Tang albums.
Ain't nothing to fuck with, baby.
So actually, before I go on to the last piece of Canadian beer news, before we go into topics, because we're talking about pepper beers, when I was at Bicycle Brewing, they had kept some jalapeno pale ale for us, and it was a beautiful pale ale. The jalapenos mixed so well with the hops. There was really almost no heat, but it had all the zing and everything else that the jalapeno would add to it. It had the zip, it had the flavor. The best part about it was that he didn't roast his fucking peppers, so you actually got a good deal of flavor. You didn't get that fucking like movie theater nacho cheese flavor. You didn't get the salsa con queso. You actually got pepper, and it was beautiful. And I told him that the first thing I said when I drank it is, you didn't roast your peppers, did you? He goes, no, how can you tell? Like, because I'm a pepperhead, man. I know what a raw pepper tastes like. That's beautiful. And he's like, oh, thank you. So that's everybody roasts their peppers because they can control the flavor better, but it mutes the flavor so much. I mean, that with my ghost pepper beer, I don't roast the peppers. I do boil them for a few seconds to get any bacteria off the skin, and then I throw them in fresh. Because if you roast them, you just take so much flavor out. You dry up the oils, you dry up everything that's worthwhile in them. Why do it?
I think it's more like a foodie thing where people you scorch a pepper to make it edible. You know what I mean? You rarely like if you're gonna, and I think that's just that mentality. It's like almost like instinct to do that to a pepper when you're gonna add it to a product that you're gonna consume.
Yeah, but
It's probably just
I usually put my
taste profiles too when you're adding it with stuff like chilies and stuff like that. You don't want it to take away from what you're eating.
Yeah, but I usually put my peppers in raw.
Yeah, but I think it's also part of that commercial mentality where you think, how can I make my pepper beer accessible to more people? Oh well, I'll deaden down the flavor, and hey, I won't put it in an interesting beer. I'll dump it in like a light lager or a light blonde ale or something like that. You know, where you'll basically just be getting either you'll get a lot of the pepper flavor, or it'll be diluted so much that you'll basically just get the beer with a little teeny zing at the end. Like, oh wow.
Oh, that's no good.
Or you could have the ghost chili fries from Wendy's.
Oh, those are good. Those are good.
Yeah, but they're not. They're not
Okay,
exactly
when we were in Ottawa, one of the things I ordered when I was at Big Rigs was ghost pepper wings. I saw ghost pepper wings, and I'm like, fucking right. I'm at a craft beer bar owned by a hockey player who actually is known for being kind of outlandish. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get these ghost pepper wings. Yeah, I should have just got hot, because you know what, the Louisiana hot sauces or anything they put on it, hotter than those fucking ghost pepper wings. That pissed me off. Didn't even have the smokiness. It didn't have anything it was supposed to have. I was angry eating it.
Oh, that's good.
Nothing sadder than eating wings angry, man.
We used to get, when I used to go to high school, we used to get red beans and rice and sausage for lunch, and spaghetti meatballs that was so hot it would light you on fire, and that was an everyday thing. So, I mean, I'm used to eating extremely hot food.
It started you out young.
So,
Then.
is red beans and rice supposed to be a little spicy?
Well, yeah, but these ladies here that would cook, they would just go all out. I mean, they went full bore. So, if you had red beans and rice, they would always have the hot smoked sausage, and the beans were hot, so your eyes would water. And then the hottest thing they made, though, was the spaghetti and meatballs. It was just, like, incredible. I mean, it was so good, though. I mean, those days have gone away. But it was pretty impressive. And that was from first grade on up. So you get initiated into this intensity, and it was sort of like Chad was talking about with the IPAs. After a while, you're not noticing anything. And they talked about this problem with the IPAs, that people end up chasing the dragon and they don't ever catch it anymore.
Well, I mean, when I'm big on my hot stuff, when I'm big on it, when I'm cooking it all the time and making my own sauces, and when I'm doing a bunch of reviews and all that, it takes almost the gods to open up the skies to burn me. But then, like right now, I haven't done a hot sauce review in 2 months now. So and Nick dropped off some hot sauces when he came down for the festival. They're sitting there waiting for me to do them, and I know that they're going to make me cry and hiccup when I do them, because it's been so long since I've put the stuff in me.
So do you think it's best to step away from IPAs for a while before you review them? You think people can overload it?
Oh, definitely. I think so. You can burn your
people. I know some people that's all they drink.
I mean, I can't see how someone could just drink IPAs all the time, right? I mean, after a while, you'd just be so desensitized to them, just burn out by them. I think it's good to have some variety.
And if you listen to Metro, you'll also have Brewer's Droop and other such things.
Bitch titties and Brewer's Droop.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to drink some Miller High Life Light. That's what they need to do.
Huh.
As a filler.
Ultra.
I said as a filler. No.
Ultra.
So the last piece of CBN news is Hogshead Brewing has reportedly shut down. Hogshead Brewing, for those of you that don't know, is in St. Albert, Alberta. Now, they also do the Amber and Roughneck beer brands, but apparently there's been no official announcement made, but they believe that their operation has been suspended, that their license has been pulled. There's lots of talk, but there are also things like all the brewing staff has been let go, and the head brewer is brewing elsewhere. Their brew house was for sale on probrewer.com, as well as all their kegs, taps, their supplies, their beer trailer. Yeah, so...
So it's really still up in the air whether they're gone or not.
Their Twitter and Instagram have been taken down. Their Facebook page has been taken over by a disgruntled investor who keeps posting about their financial difficulties. So, yeah, it's not been announced, but they're gone.
What is defined as a dumpster fire, I believe.
They are gonzo.
Do you think we're going to see a lot more of this coming up down the road in the next 2 years?
Possibly.
With some breweries, I'm sure. I mean, I actually, when I was in Ottawa and I did my Ottawa brewery tours, there were some that we actually went into and we interviewed with that I think when I go back to Ottawa won't be around again. Some of them are fairly big, some of them are fairly small, but there are some that I just don't think will be around anymore, either by the people, the beer, the size they are, the way they do things. There's just a lot of those breweries gave me a feeling they won't be around. One of them, I'm going to be posting the tour probably tomorrow from that one. They actually do something I've never seen before in my whole life. And they ferment their beer in plastic bags.
Oh, yeah.
They have like 60-gallon drums, and they have food grade bags in them, and they put the beer in the drums. Well, they put the bags in the drums, and they fill the bags with the beer, and then they just tie it and throw the top over it. So
from a cleanliness standpoint, that's fucking ingenious, you would think.
Well, yeah, you don't have to clean a fermenter or anything each time, but you don't have full control over the temperature now because you don't have a jacket on a fermenter or anything. You don't really have full control over whether or not something can get inside it because, I mean, yeah, you do have it in a container, but you don't actually fully seal it because you still have to have air get out. So things can get into a bag.
Air can get into plastic as well.
Yeah, it's really weird. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I've been in hundreds of breweries, and I've seen PET fermenters. I've seen like just random weird things used for different things, but I've never seen fermenting in a bag other than like in prison wine videos.
Prison wine porter coming to a brewery near you.
And he's talking about it while I'm in there filming, and I'm like, I don't really know if I should throw my camera on this all that much because it just looks strange, like.
No, it's definitely unique. It'd be interesting to try.
When you first mentioned those bags, it made me think about the prison culture.
But this guy has like one of his beers is called Oomph, and he goes, Oomph is it's a chocolate strawberry porter or something like that. He goes, yeah, I called it Oomph because it's the international sound of sex. And I looked at them and I was like, buddy, have you not been paying attention to what's going around the beer world right now?
Yeah, that might be a mistake.
Yeah.
Mean, even though Oomph is, that can relate to both sexes enjoying sex.
What the fuck says oomph when they're having sex? Come on.
Oomph, 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 oomph.
Say,
Sound like people playing badminton.
oh.
Excuse me. No, it's just like he has really good marketing, and I notice this with a lot of the breweries that are out there. They'll have really good marketing, but they kind of have douchebaggy attitudes or don't do things very, very well.
Yeah, well, there's like, and some of them they just come off real cheesy and like trying to be rebellious and stuff too. Like we have this Unfiltered Brewing that's started up here in Nova Scotia, and every post they make on Twitter is this fucking beer we're making, fucking this beer, fucking this, fucking that. It's like, oh, you're swearing, how edgy. How edgy! Oh, you're just shocking the monkey right there, brother. Just rock me, Amadeus. I really want to try your beer because you swear a lot in your fucking social media.
They need to go back 5 years in a time machine to BrewDog is what they need. They need to do.
What they need to do is actually make good beer. I hope they actually make good beer, and then maybe.
I mean, that's what comes out of it, right? You can be as edgy as you want. You can be as brilliant marketing as you want, but brilliant marketing is working for the companies that are a lot bigger because they have the fan base right now. Brilliant marketing in craft beer doesn't really get it because the people that are either you're going to be a beer snob that's looking just for, something edgy and the marketing isn't getting you, or you're a beer geek and you want something different and you don't care about the marketing either. The marketing might get some people to try your beer that normally drink the BMC beers, but if it's not a good beer, they're just going to go back to their BMC anyway. And really, who cares what beer you drink? I'm not saying, oh my God, drink one or the other, but marketing in the craft beer industry just doesn't have the same power as marketing for Bud, Miller, or Coors. If you were to ask me.
And if you get a little too creative, it can bloody well sink you. I mean, like we're just saying. I mean, the sort of ultra sensitive trigger warning SWJs, social justice warrior motherfuckers. I mean, you say the wrong thing, all of a sudden you've got a social media campaign against your brewery.
Talking about that, and
Right.
this is something that I find is two-point interesting. Central City Brewing, right? We all know Central City, at least all of us in Canada.
Yep.
So Central City makes Red Racer. Now, interestingly enough for me, they've basically turned Red Racer into its own brand, much like Bud has turned Bud Light into a brand. I mean, if you were doing all your Red Racer beers as all your pale ales, whatever. But they have things like the Copper Ale and stuff like that as Red Racer branded. So it's kind of interesting to me that they've turned it into its own brand, but it's also kind of interesting to me that the internet social justice people have not thought about that logo yet. Because, I mean, they went after Nickelbrook for Nickelbrook's Naughty Neighbor. They went after a bunch of breweries, but this one just seems to go under the limelight.
But it doesn't look like anyone, though. Is that going to help that?
It's the red-headed girl on the Red Racer.
No, but it's so generic looking that I don't know what they're going to say. She's so
she's
Red
big
Betty.
boobed in stockings with her skirt flying up.
Yeah,
That's what
see
they're
panties.
after right now. That's what
Yeah.
they're after right now. Like
why
the Naughty Neighbor one is just a girl in fishnet stockings, and there was a huge fallback for them on that label.
Well, there's in the States, I'd actually never heard of them, but there's a brewery called Alpha Brewing, and they just came out with a beer called Submission Ale, and it literally just rips into Muslims. The whole fucking label is like crazy. It's got a pig wearing a burqa on it. It's called Submission Ale, and then the description of the beer is Alpha Akbar. This smoked ale will blow your mind. Yeah, denounce everything you ever thought and knew about beer in the name of Alpha. Keep your taste buds, let your taste buds explode. Submit to the smoky flavor. Shove this down your throat. So I mean, you're talking about that's the label there. If you can actually see
That
it.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah, but I guess they just retracted it. You know what I mean? Or like there's too much pressure from whatever. But I thought that was the one that was the most to me. I was like, okay, this kicked it up a notch as far as fucking like the big middle finger on a label.
Yeah, but I mean,
Now, you see, that's pretty good because I'm sick of these politically correct / politically incorrect edgy beer labels. You know what I mean? They claim that they're edgy, but they really fall within a certain parameter, or they fall within a paradigm to keep themselves safe. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but it's people. I mean, marketing is like the most retarded thing ever. Like, fucking Budweiser fucked up again this week. Did you guys see that shit?
No.
Where they're like, they tweeted out a picture. They basically did the same thing did for the Super Bowl, but on Twitter, they tweeted out a picture of a guy walking into like a party with like a case of Budweiser over his shoulder, and it says nobody applauds for the guy bringing a watermelon or wheat to the party.
They don't.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's like, and the funny part is that on Sundays I've been doing this fucking other show, and we talked to the fucking brewer from 21st Amendment, and that's what they make. The Hell or High Watermelon is like a watermelon wheat beer. That's like one of their biggest sellers. So it's like literally they're taking a shot directly at a fucking person. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck are you thinking? You know what I mean? Like, it's retarded.
I mean, you shouldn't be.
Back to the Miller Coors versus Budweiser days, I guess.
I mean, if you're even really worried, like if you're even seriously worried about craft beer competition, you shouldn't goddamn let them know. You shouldn't let anyone know.
Yeah, that's what it is. It comes off as a Putsch and Jovi fucking.
Well, you got to remember too that nowadays the company itself really has no words to do, like no say in anything. Like with these big corporations, they're not running their own Twitter feed, they're not running their own Facebook feed. They have outside contracted companies that have kids that just came out of school for marketing that are doing this, and they're all like, "Hey, this is funny," and I mean, a lot of it can make the company look bad, and a lot of the stuff doesn't go through the company first before it gets put out.
That's right.
Yeah, they're too big.
Where's the Confederate flag beer? You know, I mean, if they want to really be edgy and topical, yet you want to be bad, you want to be edgy and topical, man up, or shut up.
Dukes of Hazzard Dunkelweiss. Is that what's coming?
Yeah, because you got so many choices. You can do the first Confederate flag, the second, the third, the naval flag, the battle flag. I mean, you know, man up, be a man. Don't be a mouse.
Roscoe P. Coolship.
What are they going to call it, Jay? Are they going to call it Loser Lager though? Is that what they're going to do?
They're just going to call it heritage, not hate, and then have that rope hanging on a tree somewhere.
Don't start this war.
Redneck radio? I like that.
You can say what you. All right, okay. Come down here and say it. But anyway, no. But what I'm saying is,
Call out.
I'm here. But anyway, no. But back. I'll go get the flags right now if you like. But no. But what I'm trying to say is, it fits right into what my whole point is. They want to be edgy, but they want to be edgy within a certain. Within a certain paradigm, you know, they're not going to really be edgy.
They have to be edgy within a certain in a certain amount of room, because the social justice warriors right now and everything else that's out there will lambaste your company, and then you get all the people that jump on it that don't care about the thing, but they jump on it because it's happening.
I know, and
they'll stop buying your product because they've been told to stop buying your product. So these companies want to be edgy, but they can't because they know what will happen, especially in the day of social media. I mean, it just blows up. I mean, I have 4 articles tonight to talk about with just companies that are, some of them haven't even opened yet, and they're already being destroyed by social media and things they've done.
Right, but
they're being destroyed by 14-year-old girls on Tumblr who think they're feminists.
Correct. But you know, they do all this political stuff. They'll have Che Guevara beer and proletariat beer with a hammer and sickle, and that's funny. And it doesn't offend me because I'm not a person that gets offended, you know. But
why would anyone be offended? Communism has been dead for years.
Yep.
Okay.
The Soviet Union doesn't fly that flag, do they?
Nope.
Not normally.
Okay.
But let's use that line of thinking. Okay, you want to make the vanguard of the revolution, hammer and sickle, double IPA. Fine, it doesn't offend me. But if you want to really be edgy, why don't you? And I run into this with people on social media. They say, well, that's funny. They made hammer and sickle, vanguard of the revolution, double IPA, and why would you worry about it? I said, I didn't say I was worried about it. I said, what if they make SS Totenkopf Einsatzgruppen? Oh, you can't say that. What are you, some kind of?
It's 2 totally different things you're reaching, fucker. You're freaking reaching.
I'm not reaching at all.
Okay, let me ask you this, Ron, if you want to get into it. What's the difference between fucking a swastika and a Confederate flag?
Well, one is black and red, and one is red, white, and blue.
Well, the swastika was originally a symbol of peace and unity, and it was used to show like very positive meanings.
Right.
It was adopted by a culture that twisted it into something fucked up. So your argument is you're taking a thing that means something else. Well, no, it doesn't mean that anymore. So like Russia, the hammer and sickle stands for Cold War Russia that's extinct and doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? You're reaching. You're coming from a totally fucking outside angle to try to prove a point that has no fucking point to be proven.
I don't agree with that because no, you're missing what I'm saying.
I'm not. I know exactly what you mean. We all do, brother.
They're saying you got to understand. I don't support National Socialism from Germany or Soviet socialism from Russia. I don't care for either iconography, okay? I'm saying that if one is edgy and funny, then the other one should be edgy and funny and cute and, risk-taking and all of that.
So what about Baby Rapers? Like Baby Raper, I can make that cute and funny?
Yes, if you...
Yeah, that's your point, right? Anything can be cute and funny as long as you look at it from the right angle.
What I'm saying is, if you're gonna do lowbrow humor, right? If you're gonna do lowbrow humor that's in bad taste, then it has to cut both ways. That's all I ever said.
No, you used a subject on this to drag the Confederate flag into discussion, and now you're trying to do an agenda thing.
No, I was saying they could use a Confederate flag if they wanted to be truly edgy.
Okay, well, what's next then? What else do we got to talk about?
Well, I know that the alcohol in Ohio, what's funny is that they're trying to play that out. So kind of like with your guys' social justice, whatever it is, I guess one of our representatives in Ohio is trying to pass a law for Ohio to have above 12% to 21% cap, but the excuses of the Congress people and a bunch of other people, they're saying that if we promote having above 12% alcohol by volume, then they're going to promote alcoholism, when in fact, if you look at studies and cases of other states that have an alcohol cap higher than Ohio, they because their claim is that they would have more DUIs and
Yeah, that's bullshit.
more domestic violence and whatever.
Yeah,
That's-
But if you look at the studies of the other states, they don't have that. Yeah. So
yeah, that's
I
the
think it's
same
just silly.
That's the same old prohibitionist
Yeah.
fucking arguments that are bullshit, and they've always
Look up-
been bullshit.
Yeah, look up teetotalism or teetotalers. You know what I mean? It's just the same thing. Like, you're just making excuses for bullshit.
Okay, so sorry, I was talking to the wife. I just came back in, and yeah, Ontario's ABV limit is 14%. So that's the highest we are allowed to sell at. I know you guys are a lot lower, but I mean, I don't agree with their idea, but I can also understand why they would say that, because I mean the culture of drinking is a little different in the U.S. than in Canada as well. There's a lot of things that are culturally different, even though we all think that we're the exact same.
Yeah, you guys are slightly a bit more Calvinistic than we are.
Yeah. Well, they throw numbers out there. They say stuff like, well, this beer equals 12-pack of Natty Light or some stuff like that, and they'll be like, they'll say, all he has to do is drink one bottle and he'll crash a car or something. Or beat his wife.
Or more kids will buy alcohol now that it's 12.
But remember,
whatever.
if you go into New York State, you need to have a driver's license to buy your beer. So me as a blind guy, I can't buy beer because I can't drive, but you can drink and
You
drive
don't
if you
have a
want.
passport?
Yeah, you
They
can use a
wouldn't- they
passport.
Nope, they don't take the passport of consumer beverage.
What?
Yeah, some
That's
places
all.
around where I live at are pretty strict about passport stuff.
I was there with my AGCO license, so my Alcohol and Gaming Commission license, my AGCO license, my health card, my passport, my CNIB card, which is my blind card. I had like 7 pieces of photo ID with my birth date on it. No, we need the driver's license.
Yeah, that's
you-
whoever's selling you that beer, their like girlfriend slept, like cheated on the night before.
Yeah,
They're
but
just being
Oh
a
no!
fucking
Exactly.
asshole.
Apparently, that's the
Anyway.
company. That's the company. That's the company. I can't even think right now. The company's policy, and I sent them a big thing after talking to the New York State Liquor Commission and the Canadian Embassy, and I'm like, okay, so if a passport is the #1 form of identification around the world, and the New York Liquor Commission says that you cannot deny my passport, how is your policy to deny my passport? Well, that's our company policy.
Yeah, because they never checked my ID once when I was in New York, but I probably look old.
Yeah, Chad, you got ID, really?
Yeah, I got ID'd.
Passport's the best identification in the world. It's taken literally everywhere in the world. You know what I mean?
Not
Like
in consumer beverages in New York State. Okay.
Oh, that's retarded.
Yeah.
I was
And like
asked
I
at
said,
a baseball
the
game for a
Canadian
passport.
Embassy and the New York Liquor Commission are both like, yeah, they have to take it. I'm like, oh, they don't. Whatever. They just don't get any of my money. I
This
spent
is
hundreds
America,
of dollars.
buddy. We don't have to do what you Canadians say.
Anyway, I'm gonna drink the Rainier Lager next.
Oh man, I wish I could try that.
What a treat. Chad.
What was that?
That's gonna be a treat. I wish I had a reindeer lager myself.
I drank this in the pool yesterday. I reviewed it in the pool. I had to buy a 15-pack to get it.
Did you get the Rainier Ale? You know, that strong version?
No, this is Rainier Lager brewed in Guelph.
Oh, well.
Yeah, Mountain Fresh.
So it's a Canadian brewed Pabst brand. That's interesting.
It's Sleeman does basically all of
Pabst. Yeah.
Pabst stuff up here.
I just read an article about the owner of Pabst, the new owner or whatever, from All About Beer magazine. I just started reading. I didn't finish it yet, but
It was a good article.
so far, yeah. Actually, I'm starting to be a fan of that.
You didn't get to the end of the article where they talk about how he drowned puppies and sacks in the river and stuff?
Yeah, but
Okay.
But it's funny because they have a Barnes and Nobles down here, and I was looking through their magazine rack, and they had like a good section of beer magazines, better than where I get them at Books A Million, but they were there, and I was looking through all of them, and the best one I thought that was there was the All About Beer magazine, because they had so many interesting topics compared to, say, like the homebrew magazines and stuff like it. I just gravitated towards that magazine more than. So.
What's the name of the magazine again?
All About Beer magazine.
Okay.
So it talks about homebrew stuff in there, but it's like very brief. It's like they try to mash everything into like the main title of their main article for this week or this month was beer reviewing.
It's a good magazine. Like the editor, one of the new editors is actually a guy from the town I live in right now, which is weird because they're based out of California. But that magazine's
I like it.
That magazine's been around since I think the early '70s. Michael Jackson wrote for the magazine from the '80s into the '90s, I believe.
What did you guys do to get rid of all of our viewers? We had like 8 viewers when I left, and now we have 3.
When I started talking.
Okay. Now, if you guys want to lose weight,
Oh boy.
beer drinking is the way to do it. According to Professor Spector, the trick to losing weight has less to do with how many calories you consume and more to do with how you consume them. Diet soda, for instance, may cause you to gain weight. Most of us know this already through science class. While high-fat cheeses and Belgian beer can actually aid your weight loss. And here's why. And then it goes on to talk about the microbes and bacteria that those will induce. However, the title of this article is Want to Lose Weight? Drink Beer, Not Diet Soda. And then it goes on to talk about how only 1/3 of the population has the type of receptacle microbes in your gut that these new bacteria will actually bond to. So really it should be, if you are this 1/3 of the population, drink beer. And Belgian beer, not just beer. But yeah, bottle-conditioned beer in general is what they usually be looking at, things that still have the yeast in it.
And hey, you know what? If you want to really make that work for you, drink beer all the time, but stay active and do a lot of physical activity, whether it's in your actual work or doing chores or something or going to the gym. Drink all the fucking beer you want, then go ahead. Or just don't do that and drink beer and be happy and fat. Whatever works for you.
Are you calling me fat, good sir?
Yeah, you're a big fat ass. What of it?
Okay. That's okay. You're right. You are correct.
Who's got the weights going on? Is that who's going on?
I'm just saying, like every 3 weeks you hear a new.
It's gone.
Not even 3 weeks. Every other day, really, you hear a new goddamn study. Oh, this will make you fat. This will make you thin. This will give you cancer. Coffee will make you a better lover. Blah 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 fucking blah.
And you gotta wonder how many things we could actually do with the money that you put into all these research projects.
It's clickbait research at that. It's the very worst kind, man. It's this shit you see on Facebook all the time. Just people reposting all this shit all the time.
The sediment at the bottom of the bottle does have a lot of vitamins in it.
Shut
a
up,
lot of
Ethan.
vitamins. Has a lot
Shut
of
up.
nutrients.
Ethan, shut up. 3 glasses of wine a day will make you a better lover and make you live to 100.
Crazy over here.
I don't want to be a better lover at 100. Thank you very much. I think I'd want to die by about today.
I hope I won't be making love at 100. That'd be gross.
What's up?
Who is spraying water all over their house right now?
I don't
That's what
know.
it sounds like.
It's terrible.
What's all that noise?
It's Nick.
Da, da, da.
Nick is apparently peeing in a bucket right now.
Here,
That's terrible.
like a big old wind tunnel.
That's like in that movie Monster Zero where they made all that noise and all the aliens couldn't function, so their invasion failed.
Asian failed.
Their invasion.
The next article we have is trouble brews for imported beers made in America, and basically this is that there is a class action lawsuit that did pass. So if you had bought Beck's or any other foreign beer that was made by Anheuser-Busch in the U.S., you were up for a refund of up to $50 as long as you had your receipt. Without a receipt, I think it's like $5 you can get back. But I just find it hysterical, first off, because that is part of the problem. People don't read anything, right? So, I mean, it's partially their fault because it does say on the cases, you know, brewed in the U.S., brewed in St. Louis or wherever it's brewed. But at the same time, they also have on the label. So, I mean, it is a duality right there. I mean, it's not imported if you brew it there. It's an imported brand name.
Yeah, it's an imported brand. And it's not really imported anymore either, because if the overall company owns the brand, then does nationality really matter anymore for those brands?
No. All the can and bottle label ever said was originated in Germany. That's not hard to figure out.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to go to Germany and drink the original brand or whatever, or if you can find an imported version in a can, hey, more power to you. But at the same time, stop complaining that you're not. Oh, I'm not getting the authentic Grolsch or.
Well, I mean, take Goose Island IPA for instance. On the 6-pack, you can find that it says it's brewed by Labatt here in Ontario, but on the bottle, it doesn't actually say that. It just says Goose Island IPA.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if somebody just handed me a bottle, I would think I'm drinking Goose Island IPA from Chicago.
Yeah, and that is deceptive. That is bullshit. That one is.
But if I buy the pack myself, first off, I still think that when I first pick up the pack because I know where Goose Island's from. I'm like, hey, a Chicago brewery here in Ontario. Pick it up, I get it home, and you're the one that actually brought it up to me to look on the packaging. And I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, brewed by Labatt.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and my God, is that a terrible beer?
See, I don't think it's terrible. I just don't think it's great.
Yeah, it's definitely not as good as the American stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was alright.
We only get the one made in New York. It's Goose IPA in I think it's Baldwinsville, New York. It's pretty good here.
Yeah.
We don't get the Canadian.
I think I gave it a good mark, and then I ranted for a little while about how I don't care whether you're craft or micro or macro or whatever. I don't care about any of that. But you can't call yourself crafty anymore if you're contracting yourself out to a big brewery in another country. You just can't do it anymore. That's my only tidbit here. Is the beer good? Yeah, I liked it. I'll drink it. I drank the 6-pack, whatever. But would I even call them crafty anymore? Not once you're selling your recipes. Well, not once you're moving your recipes into breweries in other countries so that you don't have to pay the import fees.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. It's not brewed the same
If we have NAFTA, why are there import fees?
Yeah, you're paying import taxes on anything that's coming into the country.
The thing is, the beer's not being brewed to the same quality standards or same methods that your own brewery does at. It's not really the same beer anymore.
I wouldn't say it's not being brewed at the same quality standards because I mean Labatt is owned by Anheuser-Busch and it is a big factory as well. But you're not getting the same stuff out of the water. You're not getting the same chemicals or mineral contents out of the water, and that has a huge difference in the beer.
Ethan, is that your boyfriend?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Who wants to see where you get the name Mustache Runner from?
It's the sleuth here.
Chad, I agree with what you're saying. Really, I can't take issue with any of it.
I don't have a problem whatsoever with the beer. I don't have a problem with the brewery. I have a problem with giving it a crafty tag when it's not even being brewed by them anymore. It's being brewed in a different country.
Yeah, it's just a macro produced contract brewed beer.
It's a beer with some flavor. I have no problem with
Contract
it.
brewed beer, which had its origins in the craft beer movement, if you want to call it a movement. That's all it is.
Yeah, it has some flavor. I don't mind the beer. I have nothing bad to say about the beer. My comment on it, the whole beer, and in the video that will go up at some point. Who knows? Because I have like 400 videos now backlog, thanks to Ottawa and the pool. But
Fuck you, Pool.
yeah, fuck you, pool. And we're doing 2 more pool reviews this week, so there'll be a lot of videos. But yeah, my only comment is on that practice. I don't think you can call yourself a crafty brewery once you have like 4 different breweries brewing your beer for you.
Yeah.
Does Goose Island claim that their beer is craft beer, though?
They
I don't know.
sort of do and sort of don't. I mean, they have claimed it.
They usually associate the word crafty with a microbrewery, or not a microbrewery, but a brewery that's associated with a larger macrobrew making typical microbrew products.
Right.
And Goose Island still is that. It's kind of like Shock Top could be
But
considered.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if you can say Goose Island is that anymore because now it's just a name. It's just a name that's being brewed all over the U.S. and all over Canada.
So
Goose Island's a weird beast, though, man. Like they have that core Goose Island line that is actually brewed in several locations, like you do have in Canada. But that the line we all love, the Bourbon County line, stuff like that, is still brewed small in the original brewery in Chicago. So it's like a weird beast. It's actually both.
But, I mean, even the brewed small thing can be argued now because now it's basically available all over the U.S.
Yeah,
but it's still it's. Go ahead, Lee.
Sorry, but yeah, I mean, but if it's still as fucking good as it ever was.
Well, yeah, I have no qualms whatsoever with the beer's quality. I have no qualms with the beer's quality, and I'll never say, oh my god, I'm not going to drink it because it's owned by Anheuser-Busch. I'll try anything they bring out just to try it, and then I'll decide if I'm going to drink it or not.
But I think the stark difference is that they're more I don't know how to say it, available offerings. Like they're fucking like the big huge like big seller beers, like they're just regular IPA and the 312 or whatever the fuck it is. Their recipes have changed. Where I don't think the Goose Island or their bigger offerings like the Pepe Nero or the Sophie or those ones I think are still in house and still made the same exact way. So there is a change with some of the bigger ones.
Wait a minute, back up. You said the recipes changed.
Yeah, they started like changing stuff. Like, and this is me talking to people who have drank the beer and be like, yes, it's different. Again, that's subjective and that's opinionated, but like the actual they're not obviously they're not going to tell you exactly what's going on.
So you don't have you don't have any really actual evidence that it changed.
I do not have data to say it tastes different. No, that would be correct.
No, I don't mean that it tastes different. You don't have data that the recipe was changed.
Only people's word. Yes.
Anecdotal evidence. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Sapporo? Would that be considered like a macro beer because it's owned by I'm sorry, not Sapporo. Excuse me. I mean Unibrow. Would that be?
It would be another one of those ones that would technically be considered crafty because it's a craft brewery owned by a big guy. And I mean that's where you get so much of the separation in this and so much of the fighting. I mean there will be beer snobs that will be I will not drink Unibrew because it's owned by Sapporo. Well, you know what? Unibrew makes some good beer. I don't care who owns it. It makes some good beer.
Nick's holding up one right now.
Yeah, I got a Noir de Chambre right here.
Sorry,
is that an old bottle or is that a new bottle? It looks different than what I remember. Or it could be just a Canadian thing.
It's up tonight. Still cold.
Wow.
Yeah.
And isn't Sapporo owned by Mitsubishi?
Yes, I do believe you are correct on that.
Mitsubishi, not exactly a small company.
Oh, what they own?
Sapporo's not a small company either. So.
No, right. You're right. You're right.
I mean, and Sleeman is owned by Sapporo, and Sleeman really isn't a small company either.
Yeah. And then Sleeman owns Unibrew.
And look at Unibrew. They're sort of the same as Goose Island in a way. They still make their regular Unibrew stuff that's awesome, and everyone still loves it. And then they have those real basic, shitty beers that they do that are just like standard kind of semi-crafty stuff or whatever it is.
Basic lagers they have are really only available in Quebec. It's not like they're producing those for external markets.
Well, yeah, that's the big difference. But still, like they're sort of doing the same thing, though.
Talking about Unibrow?
They're still produced by Unibrew in Quebec. Like all their beer. I mean, even though Sleeman owns them, Sapporo owns them, they're still kind of left to their own devices. They're not. They just have Sleeman distribution channels to help them get around. You know.
Well, Goose Island makes their like mainstream beers like Honker's Ale and Goose IPA and what is it? 412.
312.
Oh yeah, 312.
Well, like I was saying, I think they're kind of like they're similar to Goose Island in the way they're sort of a hybrid brewery. I mean, they're owned by bigger guys, but they still make craft brew to some certain standard anyway. Some degree of their company is craft brew, even if they have other stuff going on as well. So, and as long as they're making great beer and you can still get it and it's not going to change, there's nothing to complain about, man. There's nothing to complain about. The idea that I'd be able to get Bourbon County at some point, I'm cool with that. I mean, I just got a few months ago. Just got Sophie and Matilda. So I mean, that's just to show you where the distribution thing has come into play. That's improved chances of me getting like Bourbon County at some point in Nova Scotia, right? So.
Yeah, you'll probably get it one day.
Who knows?
I think there's probably a bunch of other companies on the buyout chopping block, huh?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think everyone's probably going to try to follow Anheuser-Busch's model of trying to buy up some craft breweries and keep them craft and just up their distribution. So.
Did anybody read that book called The Craft Beer Revolution by one of the founders of Brooklyn Brewing?
Was it Garrett Oliver? Or?
No, this guy Hindi.
The other founder, the
Founders.
His last name is.
I have it on my wish list to buy off of Amazon next time I do an Amazon purchase.
My daughter gave it to me for a gift, and it was updated in 2015. And I read the book, and it was fascinating, to say the least. He makes some very interesting points in that book. And in some ways, that book is a veiled attack on Jim Koch. Koch. You know?
Cockshot.
It's sort of it's really a fascinating book because he's attacking the guy without explicitly attacking him. Really, he just gives these stories. It's something that it's. I think everybody should read that book. Once you start reading it, you're not going to want to stop. Now, of course, you're only getting Hindy's viewpoint. It might be a bunch of
Or shit.
I'm not going to say lies, but take a fact and twist it. So I don't know, but it's his main contention. One of his big contentions is that there really wasn't a culture comp or a major struggle between the macro and the micro brewers until Cook came along. That Cook basically created a conflict which before 1985 did not exist. He was talking about how some of the major brewing companies like Anheuser-Busch and Coors helped the craft beer companies get started. And so he was saying, well, if they were trying to kill us in the womb, why didn't they kill us? I mean, they were helping us get barley that we couldn't buy. So it's really interesting that I didn't know any of this stuff. I thought, wow, I thought it was always there was always an attempt to sabotage these little companies. But he said, no, it was Jim Cook that created all of this struggle. In other words, he's like angry at the guy for like screwing up the whole sort of situation.
So he's arguing he's putting forth the argument that Jim Cook has created sort of the division between craft breweries and big macro breweries, and that he's sort of made the conflict between them sort of the popular narrative.
Yeah, of course you got to read it for yourself, get my interpretation. But he talks about how Fritz Maytag really started the craft beer movement in 1971 with Ankerstein, and he also brings in the fact that a lot of these craft brewer founders were well-established, well-heeled guys who came from very wealthy landed families who had disposable income that they could start these breweries. You know what I mean? Like their father owned Maytag washing machine company, for instance.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
it wasn't just some guy off the street who was in poverty and had a vision and a dream to start craft beer. It was people that came from pretty wealthy families. And
well,
on the whole, not always, but generally.
Well, I've never had any I've never had any illusion that the craft beer movement was started by a bunch of homeless people with a dream.
And he didn't say that as a bad thing. He's just saying this is what happened. All right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because I mean, it takes a lot of money to start a brewery, and it takes a lot of money to compete in the marketplace. So I mean, it's not. I mean, we're at a situation now where it's slightly easier for people to be able to start a craft brewery, but I mean, especially back then, it must have been incredibly difficult to.
All right, but these guys would get $350,000 out of their back pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So then he said, that went along, and Fritz Maytag got a lot of help from various people. He talked about how what's the one from Colorado? Boulder, Colorado, Boulder Brewing Company, right? They started in 1979, so they were one of the early ones. And they couldn't not buy barley. They could not get barley. And the farmers said, well, we don't sell barley to people like you because we only sell barley in major volume, you know what I mean, to Coors. We're not going to sell little bags of barley to you. So, go away. And so he said, he didn't know what to do.
Sounds like a drug dealer. That sounds like a drug dealer. Not selling little bags only in bulk.
Right. The guy that wanted to start the brewing company, Boulder, in 1979, called Coors, and the guy that ran Coors, I guess it was Pete Coors, it might have been his father, said, oh, well, that's a shame that you can't get barley. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll sell it to you, and then you can start your little beer company. Now, so
go for small growers and like little farmers markets that might be selling the product on a smaller scale.
Well, I mean, that was remember that's back in the 70s, 80s. Things have changed a lot now.
Right,
now you can buy.
The whole point he was making is that the big companies helped him, and then Anheuser-Busch was like showing him, oh no, you're doing all this wrong. Let's show you. Come to this event, and we'll show you how to brew this correctly. Well, all right. So it was like he said it was like no animosity, right, or no like paranoia or anything. And then he talks about how Jim Cook comes along and says, just without any context, decides to go and start attacking major brewers in 1985. And he was saying it was basically just a marketing ploy to like pit us against them. And then all the other brewers, the other craft brewers, were coming to him and saying, hey, why is this guy doing all this? What the hell's going on? And then the major brewers were saying, what, y'all want to fight? Y'all want to have a fight after all we've done? And they were all saying, no, it's this one guy. And then the book goes into how he jobbed the events, like the Great American Beer Festival, how he tried to tinker with the events by using all kind of unethical tactics to get his beer to win first prize all these years. And I mean, I would read it. I would read the book. It'll put a different perspective on things, I think.
Yeah, you talked about this on one of your chats, and I was commenting on it. And like I said, some of the unethical things you had brought up were things that the big brewers do now. It's a funny thing, though. I mean, I think at the beginning they probably did, because there's always been a big camaraderie in beer. They probably did help them at the beginning. And they probably thought, what is this small guy going to do to my bottom line? Absolutely nothing.
Right.
And, I mean, globally, things have been changing over time. I mean, Jim Cook probably did some stupid stuff, because Jim Cook seems like he would do some stupid stuff just from interviews and everything else I've seen with the guy. He seems like he would do some stupid fucking shit. And he probably did, and he probably caused some animosity, but I mean, that was back then. Now in 2015, there is still some animosity. I mean, but you still do get guys that are friends. I mean, I know some guys that are friends with Molson Brewers and Molson staff. I know some guys that are friends with Sleeman Brewers and Sleeman staff. Really, there is some friendships in there, but there's also the fact that now they actually have a little bit of competition with these guys, because not only is Sleeman now competing with Bud and Coors, but they also have these little guys eating up little bits of their market share in little spots. They're losing more and more.
and to be fair, the overall tone of the book is positive. Okay, he talks a lot about Michael Jackson too. By the way, it's not all universal adulation either. But he just, it seems like the underlying theme of the book is that we had a good thing going, and it was a lot of like growth everywhere. It was just like growth, 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 and then this guy came in and just threw a grenade in the middle of the whole thing, and I would say read it. So, although he did say that he did enjoy Jim Cook's beers, he thought Samuel Adams, for the most part, did make enjoyable beers, good beers to drink.
Joseph, I'm drinking a Rainier Lager, which is mountain fresh since 1878.
I give it. I think it's amazing, even though I never had it before. Wasn't that actually high on that macro list that we read off last week on this show?
It's right up there with Genesee Cream.
No, Genesee Cream on that list was 34 out of fucking 36. Rainier, I think, was in the top 15, if I recall correctly. I don't know if I do. There was 36 macro beers. I don't know. I remember though. Joe? I'm not drinking anything. I'm pulling you. So I was waiting for you to hate me. Hate me! Come on, Lee! Thumb down Matt's videos because of it.
I tried the Russian River beer last week.
Supplication? Some supplication.
What'd you have?
Oh, supplication. That was really amazing. I mean, I thought, Lord, another sour beer. I had a lot of negative.
It was really well done.
I was thinking this is going to be, I had a negative attitude about it, and then I started drinking it, and I thought, oh, man, this is changing my whole worldview of sour beers, really.
When I had it, I was like the only one of the four of us that actually liked it. But I thought it was really, because I mean, it's what was it? Pinot Noir barrels it was aged in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't get over it. It was like
sour beer.
I was flabbergasted. I mean, I could not literally get over it. It had so much body to it. It had so much like it wasn't really that sour. It had a sour context to it, but it wasn't like drinking a Warhead or a Lemon Head.
No.
Hey, that was something you guys talked about on the latest I Love Beer Radio. How you need that certain sour beer to get you in the sours,
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one.
Well, that could also segue into a thing from Draft Magazine that says, "Stop calling beers sours."
Well, we can just totally ignore that subject and that entire article, and Craft Beer Magazine in general.
Yeah, how about you stop making a magazine other than your review section and leave everything else by the wayside?
Correct.
And only because your review section has pretty pictures. That's pretty much the only difference between that and any other magazine.
So
can't call them sour. It's gotta call them wild ales.
Yes, because there's more than just sour. There's Brett Funk, and there's this, and there's that, and there's not everything.
Brett Funk, God, no, dude. I'm a Bret Hitman Hart fan. Every time Brett Funk wrestles, I turn off the TV. He's the worst wrestler ever.
It puts you in the sour shooter, baby.
He's too old. His knees are gone. He keeps
sour shooter.
coming back.
Cutting out the middleman. Beer brewed from recycled urine to go on sale at a festival. Urine is being recycled at a Danish beer festival to help make beer. The Beer Cycling Initiative hopes to collect 25,000 liters of urine that will be used to create 425 kegs of beer that will be sold at the 2017 festival.
They hope to collect. I like that.
Is there a urine shortage anywhere?
Well, newsflash, we're all drinking recycled urine every day of our lives. We're drinking dinosaur urine, really. I mean, all water has fucking urine in it.
That's
yeah.
I'm turning into a raptor, baby. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, now
Joe was blowing clouds, baby. He's going
beer, yeast beer. There is, prairie oyster beer. There is whale blubber beer. There's all these beers I will try. I think I draw the line at urine beer, though.
Ew.
Really? Really? What about
There's-
ant semen beer?
There's beer made from pellets that came out of the animal that shits. I mean, but
It is the animal that shits.
Here
It
in
does shit.
beer is I think the place I draw the line. I watched Brewmasters with the Dogfish Head guy doing the chewed corn beer. Okay, chewed corn from somebody else. You're getting other people's saliva in it. Okay, still probably okay to me. But somebody else's piss, I think I'm putting the end right there.
No, come on now. No, what if it was someone who? What if it's the urine from someone with a really exceptionally tasty diet? Someone
I
who's just
do
had,
not give a shit.
someone
I
who's
think
had
I
nothing
think
but
I draw the
pineapples.
line. I
They
think
do
I
this-
draw the line at somebody's urine.
This
Okay,
place, this,
I'm
this
drawing
place
the
needs to-
line in the sand. That's my line.
I mean,
this,
come on
this
now.
place needs to line up people who have had some asparagus beforehand. Just
Oh,
all of them asparagus.
Oh my god.
It'll impart that nice, rich flavor, baby.
I mean, you
Uh,
don't have to say what you guys in relation to.
right there.
Unless fucking Jessica Biel or fucking Jennifer Lawrence is making this beer, I'm out.
At that point, you can just directly pee. Okay, I can't go. I got some time. It's not that late yet. It's not that late.
Oh my god.
You take a first sip and you're like, God damn, Jessica Lawrence, what the hell you been eating, baby?
You have to call the beer Golden Shower, right? It has to be called Golden Shower, right?
I think
It has to be called Golden Shower. It has to be.
It has to be golden something, golden ale, golden blonde, golden. Yeah.
there's gimmicks and then there's gimmicks, and those are gimmicks just to be like, hey, just like the fucking whale testicles and all that stuff. Hey, we're doing something so crazy, no one ever thought. No, you know why no one ever thought of it? Because it's stupid. That's why.
Yeah.
But like then there's gimmick beers where hey, we're putting like peanut, like when Sweet Baby Jesus came out from Dewclaw, I don't know how many years ago, that was a gimmicky beer because like ooh, peanut butter and beer, but the concept was actually kind of cool. You're like, oh, I like peanut butter, and you go with chocolate flavors.
Right.
That's actually a gimmick that could work. These are just gimmicks that are like, hey, we're just doing them to do them and to get like the shock value from everybody. I'm surprised Rogue's not doing this one.
Joe is right. Well, I'm going to get off of this now, but I appreciate all the the discussion.
I did want to mention one thing though. But I caught the first part of it. I caught was you guys were talking about Goose Island brewing it in different places.
Yeah.
One thing that everyone fails to realize when you brew it in different places, unless they're fucking bringing in their own water, the water
I said that
profile.
already.
Oh, did you? Okay, I didn't see that. But that can just change the
That's a
ingredient
huge
by
thing.
itself.
We saw that just from
Yeah, the
when
shitty
we were doing
Niagara
the
Falls.
Niagara College shitty beers. But each one of them had a different water profile, and each one of them was very different, even though the brew was the exact same.
No doubt about that. So,
All right.
well, have a good night.
You have a
Cheers,
wonderful.
Jay.
Take care, man.
Hey, Jay.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
Doses?
Peace out.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.
See that? Joe comes in and Jay's gone. He doesn't want to hang out with Joe.
I'm just trying to save everyone.
You ain't gonna have none of this flag waving shit.
Joe, you was a scary man. You was a scary, scary man. After Joe, you sitting there, you come up and you just threaten to clubber, start clubbering on people.
Oh, baby, I'm threatening you with my bionic elbows all over the place, baby.
Another article that was out there was from the Washington Post, which is Mexican microbrewers step out of the shadows of the country's beer giants. And it's a big thing about all the different Mexican craft breweries that are starting to come up. And I mean, I hear from a lot of people that go to Mexico that the Mexican craft breweries are doing great things. I also hear that Italy's craft beer industry is becoming something special. And I mean, I really wish I could get beers from these areas because I do want to try them. I mean, especially when you think of the fact that both Italy and Mexico have both been basically buried under macro beer for so long where nobody's been able to come out of it. And when you start seeing craft breweries there, you start going, what are they going to be doing? And it's cool to try. I mean, I've tried some German craft breweries already, and they make some cool stuff too. It's still following the purity law, but so different somehow from the stuff that's being made there following the purity law.
And when you look at Mexico and South America, they're generally everything they brew is based on German brewing as well, because that was the main influence on their fucking beer brewing to start with. So
Oh yeah, so many Mennonites and everything that ended up going over there.
And
Well,
Nazis.
and Nazis, yeah, I was about to say that. But no, like the two of the better beers I've had over the past month actually came from Brazil, which is kind of weird. Like there's a brewery called Walls out of Brazil. I know the United States get them. Joe might have seen them. It's the Bello beers, Bello like petroleum, Bello, Ipe.
Ethan just sent me one in the beer trade we did. The Bello, whatever the Imperial Stout was.
Okay, that was nice, but their Ipe blew me away. It was a Belgian quad, but there's this other one I had by Cerveza Colorado Gubernara. It was like some fucking, I'm looking at it right now, it was like just some Imperial Stout. It was ridiculous good. And I don't think of Brazil being like that with good beer. You think of that just genera fucking swill. It's kind of cool to see fucking places taking off like that.
They're not just taking off, but they're taking off and they're not going, hey, we're going to do this with golden ale and this. They're taking off and they're doing, what the fuck can we make up? You know, like
yeah.
DJ, when him and I did that stupid big trade we did, he got two beers that he picked up on his trip to Mexico, two Imperial Stouts, one just a regular one, and then one brewed with cacao nibs and chilies. I haven't got into them yet, and I was thinking about bringing them up when we were going to do the share at your fest and stuff, but then I realized I wanted to be selfish and drink them myself because they're like 11.2 ounce bottles, and I'm like, fuck that noise. How often do you get Mexican craft beer? Not too often. I was like, I'll be damned if I'm not drinking the majority of it. Yep, damn straight. And but it just sounds cool, and from what DJ said, there's a lot of good stuff there, which I trust him because he goes there multiple times per year.
Oh, he does? Really?
Yeah. His wife is, I believe, Mexican, and he goes and visits the in-laws there. I think at least once a year. I think a couple times a year. And he always tries to bring stuff back. The worst being Sol Clamato that he brought back. I was like, hey, you should try this, and I'm like, hey, I don't think I should. But then he sent me when I drank it, and it was this isn't saying much, but the Budweiser Clamatos, whatever. But the Sol Clamato was actually, I felt, passable, which I don't know. That's something good about it, but it was like spicy tomato juice, but it actually had flavor. It wasn't just like shit. So,
Shit.
I don't know about Clamatos. I don't know who wants to ever drink them
Clamato.
in the States.
Ron, I don't know if you're still watching, but yeah, I know you're not scared of Joe. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah. I saw his comment there. He's been up since 3:45 a.m. He says, I do have my flags. I ain't scared to show them, and didn't leave because Joe just heard. Nice seeing y'all.
That's cool, Ron. You can lie to us if you want.
Everybody's scared of Dusty Joe.
Everybody's scared. That's what
When Dusty Joe comes on, everyone gets scared, baby. The four horsemen tremble in the boots.
The thumbs down, man. They go up.
And yeah, it was nice
opposite
chatting
direction.
with you. It really was. We had some good conversation tonight. It was nice chatting with you.
Actually.
Have a good sleep. Go to bed. Tell your daughter I love her.
Although I think you missed the best part, Rhino. You were off camera for a while.
Yeah, my wife was talking to me.
What was the best part?
The best part was when Matt and Jay got into a discussion about flags and symbology and such things.
Was it a discussion?
Well, yeah,
that
it was a
what
bit
we
of
call
a
it?
discussion. It was a bit of a discussion. Yeah,
It was a bit of a discussion.
yeah, it was a bit of a you're wrong and I'm right and silence. And,
Well, who was wrong and who was right? I guess I'll have to go back and watch it.
I'm going to guess they both were wrong and they both were right.
you have to form your own opinions.
Oh, it's one of those. Okay.
One of those.
Glad I missed that. Not really.
I'm still sticking by. I'm going to assume they were both wrong and both right, just because Matt's are always wrong.
Anyway, it's humid outside, Joe, right?
It's superhuman, baby. I don't know. Sweating bombs over here.
And hey, since we're throwing fucking shit out here, I'll just throw a little nugget in here because remember the other week there where we were talking offline about Mr. Greg's beer reviews and how he did a bottle opening, beer mail opening, where he basically shit on the guy who sent him the beer mail for like half his video because he didn't see the bottle on date. And then
Ethan did supply that video to us, just to be clear. It was Ethan. All
Yeah,
Ethan.
and then I made a comment saying, "Oh, way to treat the guy like a piece of shit, you cunt," basically, and he made a little comment on my page, basically making fun of the fact I only have like 2,600 subs and
Yeah, baby.
nothing.
Nice. So, did you respond to it? Or you
Oh
don't
yeah, it
respond?
just says at least I earned all my subs. That was my response.
At least they exist, baby. Like
Yeah.
the actual people hitting that sub button.
Yeah. So hey, Greg, fuck you. Not that he'll ever watch this, but fuck you anyway.
And watch other people's videos.
Yeah, that's funny.
That would be like Nick watching other people's videos.
Or taking pictures of BDU.
Or
Oh,
not even
boy.
listening because he's, oh my god, I gotta take a picture of everybody here. So,
I'm testing something on the camera. Sorry.
Oh yeah, right. It's these photos
didn't
are all going to come back when we find out that Joe is a serial killer. And
Yep. Well, we knew the guy, and we knew there something was wrong with him.
Now,
Nick documented every second of it.
we were talking.
You could tell it in his eyes. All those Dusty Rhodes quotes.
We were talking earlier about
Baby.
social justice warriors and everything like that, and there was one brewery that put out a promo video. It's WT Brews. It's not yet launched. It's here in Ontario, and I thought if it was a strip joint with a brewery attached, like if it was the first brew pub strip joint, it was the best fucking promo video ever. And it was like Van Halen going off on their guitar riffs and all that, and every brand of beer was like a Belgian blonde and this and that. And it was girls in bikinis on the front of each of them, and I thought it would be great for a strip club. Social justice warriors went off on it. The Thirsty Wench was one of them, Robin LeBlanc, and she actually had sent some emails to the guy after going back and forth on Twitter with him, with the same as all of that entire group, the ones that think that I'm a sexist pig and everything. But yeah, so one of the things that came out, he actually responded to her in emails, and this is the thing that I will say to all of you brewers that are going to do stuff like this. If you're going to do this, don't reply ever, because you're always too fucking stupid to know what you're doing. Like, you really are. Every last one of you, be it Pizza Boy or anything like that, anytime you get into a social justice fight online, or any social media fight online, none of you have the intelligence to respond to this stuff, so just shut up. Anyway, his email to her was, "Oops, I forgot to reply. I guess the Bare Naked Ladies listened to the people complaining they would have never been the #1 selling indie band in Canada's history. I don't see any of these tweets trashing Nickelbrook's sexist naughty neighbor beer. What gives?" And yes, there was a lot of them that trashed that beer, just to be honest. Anyways, you know the old saying, bad publicity is better than no publicity. That video was removed, as it was never intended to be viewed by anyone. Funny to read all the reactions, though, and thanks for bringing this to our attention. It will make the anticipation that much greater for our finished product, once it is on the shelves and in the public. Have a great night.
Yeah, it's the wrong take. Don't be a dick. I mean, if you're going to respond to these people, because they're looking for anything they can dig into, any word they can take out of context and attack you with, and he's just providing ammo for them doing that kind of shit.
Oh yeah, and it's going to make people. This bad publicity is going to make people more interested in our final. No, it's actually not going to make people more interested in your final project. It's actually product. It's going to make people not buy you. A lot of people, and then the people that do buy you are going to be harsher on what they're trying.
Yeah, you gotta be smart about it, man. I mean,
and it's everything. I mean, even lawyers are too stupid to respond. I mean, let's look at the Brock Street versus Brock Brewing. The owner of Brock Street wasn't smart enough to understand Facebook.
Yeah. Wheels, you big dumb motherfucker.
I mean, I haven't had his beer yet, and I haven't had his beer yet. I'll probably try it. But yeah, when I review it, I'm going to be harsher on it than I normally would, because the guy pissed me off. And it's not that I'm fully trying to be biased, I'm just being honest. I will probably be harsher on it than I should, because the guy was so fucking stupid that he didn't understand anything, and he went off on his little tirade, and he did it all publicly, and this and that. You know what? You won the war. You got out to market first. The guys from Brock Brewing still aren't on market, and they're still trying to keep themselves named Brock Brewing. So at this point, I wash my hands with them, because they actually lost the war. and they're too stupid to know they lost the war too. So, I mean, I don't get the brewing industry right now in this sense. There's so many stupid people out there, or people that are just too dumb to realize what social media is and what sensitive people are, like Bad Apple Brewing in Nova Scotia.
Yes. Unfortunate. Do not use your company's Twitter and your company's social media for your own personal grievances about a night where you were getting drunk at the fucking Stubborn Goat or whatever in Halifax.
So first and foremost on this, the article is written so badly that the Halifax
terrible
co-op, you need to get better writers or put them in grade 9 writing classes. And then the title, misogynist shaming effort backfires. To be a misogynist, you have to hate women just because they're women. You can't. It's not that he was angry at one woman for something that was said possibly to him, and then he tried to share that online. Was he stupid to share it online? Yes.
Yep.
Is that a misogynistic thing for him to say this woman is unsociable and a bitch? No. I'm sorry, feminists. It's not unless he says it about all women. He's saying this about this one woman, and here's the truth of the matter. He says he wasn't even talking to her, and she said stuff to him. She hasn't really talked about what was done. Nobody knows what happened there. Nobody knows at all. We don't know. Those two know. Neither of them will ever tell the full story because they're both going to want to look better in the media light, especially now that it went viral. You'll never know the full story. Still, was it right for him to do it? No, and it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female. This fucking social shaming shit has to stop. And I find it hysterical that it's okay for some and not the others. Like, this was horrible, but when it's a woman who was bullied in high school who shames the guy later on when he asks her out, and then she stiffs him at a fucking restaurant and leaves a note, because this happened, leaves a note saying you're a fucking asshole and all that, and then posts this all over the internet. That's okay, but this isn't. Equality is a two-way street, guys. Shaming, period, online has to stop. The stupidity has to stop. And if you're going to do it, you don't fucking do it with your company's fucking stuff.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the worst thing about this is that like we mentioned on Hoagly Live last week when we were talking about this, the owner of Bad Apple, he has sort of a reputation of being a bit of an outsider in the craft brew scene in Nova Scotia, where he kind of bucks the trends and stuff like that, and so he has sort of this, I guess, rebel attitude or whatever, so he needs to rein himself in quite a bit. I mean, this goes outside of just, like, marketing your business as being an outsider and stuff like that. Like, this is actually hurting your business. This is turning customers away from your business as opposed to presenting a cool image about your product. And it could really hurt him bad because he's small. Like, he is a fucking tiny, basically a nano brewery. So you want to throw away half your potential fucking buyers by doing that? I mean, if this stuff leaks out into social media and goes out through Twitter and everything, especially in the local scene here in Nova Scotia, where I'm pretty, although I'm not Todd the beer dude, fucking I do know that fucking the maritime social media for craft brews and stuff like that is very big. Like, we got the Ladies Beer League and stuff like that here in Nova Scotia, where there's definitely a lot more attention given to trying to get women into craft beer drinking and stuff like that. They see this shit, they're gonna stay away from your fucking business, man. They're not gonna fucking touch you with a 10-foot fucking pole, and that's gonna hurt your business. And you don't need to be doing that shit. And it's unfortunate to see this because, I mean, I've met the dude. I've talked to him a little bit. I don't know him that well, but actually my best friend Peter knows him even better. And he's actually a pretty good guy, but he made a really stupid fucking move doing this shit, and he shouldn't have
like
done
you
it.
said on my Facebook site, this stuff never fully blows over. Because these people, and I say these people, and I'm not trying to be rude to you guys, but these people that want to go after everything and want to be super sensitive about everything, never let it go.
Exactly.
They'll keep it forever.
They hold grudges. Yep, they do. I was laughing there, Lee. I like Todd. Todd's a good guy, but Todd the beer dude, I just can't.
Just kidding. It's like Todd took literally 10 seconds to think that up, and he's just like, I'm gonna go with it.
Hey, but he made his name. He's doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like good for him. It's just there's one of those
Power
names.
to
That's
him.
like, Lee the Beer Dude. Like you can really apply that to almost anything.
Hey, that sounds so much better.
Hoagley the Beer Dude. How about that?
No, if it was in my case, it would have been Lee the Beer Master.
Oh,
The beer master.
Oh, the beer master, baby.
Lee
The master.
Lee the modest beer master.
When we were in the pool yesterday, one of there was like a lot of kids there yesterday, but one of Simon's friends was there with his 3-year-old daughter, and every time she asked me what my name was, because she'd always forget, I'd tell her Master Blaster, and then Daryl would go, "Who runs Botta Town?" And my son would go, "Master Blaster." It was
Master Blaster runs Botta Town.
Now, we also, it's too bad Jay's gone for this one, because Maria was on his little chat talking about how everything was rainbows and lollipops and craft beer, and I had commented that it really isn't. And when we were in Ottawa doing our interviews, we're at Broadhead, and I've said before that trademark law, like trademarks have gone way too far, and really they are. Sure, are they law? Yeah. Do we have to abide by them? Yeah. But have they gone too far? Certainly have. So he sat there and he looked at me and he goes, "Have you done anything with Underdogs?" I go, "I reviewed one of their beers. That's about it. It's the only one that's available at the LCBO." He goes, "Well, they're going to be rebranding and renaming soon because we own the trademark for the word Underdog." So Broadhead, it's Broadhead beer, and they use this little tagline, "It's time for the underdogs to win," or something like that.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So, yeah, it's not your brand. It's your little tagline that will change at some point. You own the trademark of it, sure, whatever. I don't think you should be able to trademark a slogan. I think maybe your brand, your image, all that sort of stuff. I don't think a slogan should be allowed. But again, it doesn't matter what I think. And I'm wearing the Broadhead shirt right now. Actually,
Yeah,
let's
you
see
are
if
a
it says it
traitor.
anymore.
And there's a dog from the '60s that has that trademark anyway. So you know.
No, who knows? That's
Chad, you're a billboard for bullshit right now, is what you are, sir.
I like the shirt. It's a nice orange
You know,
shirt.
Broadhead, I had
Anyway.
your blueberry ale. You know what? It sucked. It fucking sucked ass.
Fuck you,
But,
Broadhead, you bunch
yeah,
of
so,
fucking
I mean,
Nazis.
Apparently he knows the guy and he's friends with him, and he sat down and they were drinking and he said, "You got to change your name." So he didn't go through the court system so I just do hope that he's letting him use, because the Broadhead the Underdog cans aren't wrapped, they're actual cans. I'm hoping he's letting him use all of his stock first before he has to rebrand. But it's still hurting him because now he's rebranding and having to start from scratch.
I'm telling you right now, that guy wouldn't be my friend anymore. Fuck that motherfucker.
That's fucking,
Yeah.
it's so bad.
That's
So clever to use the
petty
underdog
bullshit.
phrase in craft beer too. Oh, we're the underdog. There's like fucking hundreds of craft breweries that are the underdog.
How is that hurting How is that hurting their fucking brand? Because their little under slogan for their beer is the underdog of blah blah blah. Oh, underdog beer. Yeah, I'm gonna mistake that for fucking Broadhead shit. What a bunch of fucking bullshit,
I'm
man.
gonna
I would
mistake-
punch that motherfucker in the face if he called me his friend. That's fucking bullshit.
Oh, Dusty
It's
Russell out there right now, baby.
I would physically assault that
everybody-
motherfucker. I'd cripple him for life.
Everybody seems to think it's all fucking rainbows and lollipops, and even brewers talk about, the camaraderie, That's not camaraderie, that's bullshit right there. And I understand it. I understand you own the trademark for it. I don't understand how you can get the trademark for it. I don't understand how why don't I just go trademark the? And if anyone has the in anything, I'm going to sue them.
The camaraderie thing was cool like 10, 15, 20 years ago when there was a handful of craft brewers in each state. And yeah, then it was like, oh, everything's cool. Let's share this. Let's share that.
Every single time you ask, every single brewery we were in, and I was doing the, what's your favorite part of the industry? Every one of them. Oh, the camaraderie.
Oh, the people. Oh, the fucking people. They're the coolest people ever, except for when they're trademarking every fucking word under the fucking sun.
Yeah,
And then,
the coolest people ever will let me fucking bully them around passively aggressively of lawsuits and shit like that. Yeah, go fuck yourself, you fucking piece of
It's
shit. You
the
slimy
unfortunate
motherfucker.
thing. Unfortunate thing, you just
Don't
see more and more
sugarcoat
of
it,
that.
Lee. Don't sugarcoat it, Lee. Come on.
The real
Sneak-
unfortunate
sneak-
thing is that
don't-
as time goes
Cut a
on,
promo, baby. I got a minute. Cut a promo.
the worst part is, as time goes on, this is going to happen more and more and more.
Oh yeah, and you're already seeing it. Like over the last year, how many instances of breweries suing another brewery over a trademark, over something? A lot of these fucking things just popping up here and there. Even a couple of years ago, you weren't seeing it, but now there's so much competition, so many breweries out there, and so many people trying to get into it. Yeah, it's just bound to happen.
People waited a long time to start getting into this stuff, right? Like sexism in brewing and this and that, and racism in brewing. Everybody waited until the craft beer movement was basically starting to hit its peak before they started talking about it. Well, yeah, when you have 3,000 craft breweries in the U.S. and like 600 in Canada, you're going to find some racists and some sexists. You're going to find it. If you did this 10 years ago when the numbers were a third or even a quarter, yeah, you probably wouldn't have found it as easily.
Just wait until the PC stuff takes hold. Like a firm grip.
All I'm going to say is I hope someone from Broadhead's watching this video. I hope you, the owners of Broadhead, I hope your eyeballs are plucked out of your fucking skulls and your skull fucked.
All right.
That's pretty good stuff. Yeah.
Do you think Broadhead could get that on video possibly, like at another brewery trip?
Could they put on a poster in their fucking brew room, the tap room, going?
Well, they should take Underdog.
The King of Beer Tube says we should get skull fucked.
That's right.
A+.
They should take the Underdog shit out of their fucking tagline and go, "This is the beer by the people who were skull fucked."
I think they tried to trademark it because they won the People's Choice at Chad's Festival. So now they're the Underdog.
I don't even think that they should even have Underdog in it anymore when they are one of Ottawa's biggest producers now. They still have their fucking 5 like plastic fermenters there, but those are just backup in case they run out of room. They have all stainless steel fermenters that are up to the roof and all. Like, they are doing well. They are doing very well. You're no longer the Underdog. You're Ottawa's biggest brewery, other than Beyond the Pale and Big Rig.
No idea what you're talking about. Whenever I hear Underdog, I instantly think Broadhead. Like, I don't know. I can't.
But at the same time, here's the thing: if like they change that whole thing from whatever to I'm fucking trailing off here. I think I heard a niner. No, skull. If they change it to Skullfucker, then what's her name would sue them because it's too close to Skull Splitter. You know what I mean? Like, fucking Orky. I'd be like, oh, that's too close to Skull Splitter, so you can't have Skullfucker. You'd have to change it to something else.
They'd have to own a North American trademark, too.
Like I said, just wait until the real PC stuff takes hold. Where I think in one of your videos or somebody's videos, I can't remember because they all blend together half the time. The Central City with the red racer and the redhead on there, kind of provocative.
We were just talking about that tonight.
Oh, were you? Okay.
I was just saying tonight that I'm actually, and I said it in a video I just recorded tonight too, that I can't believe that they haven't gone after that yet with all the other things they've gone after.
But there's so many things out there that like once someone gets after that, they're gonna have to trade it or get rid of it and change it. Like somebody's gonna complain about it at some point in time.
A new brewery that just opened, they are launching. Well, they just got all their licenses that are launching in the fall. Is in Alberta. It's called Blind Man Brewing, and I was just saying how from Alberta over to BC, there's a lot of very sensitive people. Like, look at the albino rhino beer that got destroyed because the albino woman got freaked out, and that's good for me because now I can open a brewery called Albino Rhino Beer. But
look at Cleveland, fatheads. Everyone who has a fat head, they'll be pissed at something.
Yeah, but Blind Man Brewing, I'm waiting for a blind guy to go, "What the fuck is this? This is offensive to me."
He'll never see that ad.
And I like that. I see what you did. But once it get the ball rolling on any of the if it's one person attacks, it gets on social media or something, gets the ball rolling, then there's gonna be flashback.
But here's the thing: what I think's gonna actually happen is what you're saying. But at the same time, there's gonna be fucking breweries that be like, okay, can we think of a label that is offensive enough to cause like a fucking PR swell, but not offensive enough for people to crush us. So let's come out with a beer so people talk about us, and then we'll change the label. That way we get fucking known. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like that where
free publicity.
They'll be like, yeah, because we're talking about them. You know what I mean? Like they're getting their fucking names out there, obviously. So they'll start doing it on purpose, basically.
Or make a white stout that you call like African transgender.
Yeah.
Double Belgian Japanese wheat stout from fucking Siberia or some shit. Like, you gotta throw all the fucking things in there to make it sensitive to everybody because you don't want to trigger anybody. Because, oh my God, you mentioned black in there, and I'm black, and I'm really offended by that, or some shit. Like, oh, fuck yourself.
You can just call a cracker retard and just cut to the chase.
I think Lachlan, and the fact that you can say Lachlan ever said something best or said something amazingly right, if you guys know the Reverend, is fucked. But I think Lachlan said it best when he got in a fight at a bar, and I don't mean a fist fight. He got in a word fight because he can't fist fight unless me or Paul or somebody steps in for him. But he got in a word fight at a bar with somebody because somebody overheard the things he was talking about, and they're like, "You offend me," and he looked right at them. And he goes, "You know, the only person that gets hurt with the word offended, you. So grow a fucking thicker skin." And that's the first and only time I think he ever said something right, because you know what? Don't get offended by everything, and you won't be offended. It's a weird. It's another duality. Don't sit there and be so fucking sensitive, and you won't have problems like you do.
Too many thick, fucking thin-skinned fucking bitches out there who just are looking to be offended by stuff. Like they make it their lives to be offended. They look to be offended.
Exactly. You can almost any word can offend you, or anything can offend you, and those are the people that are overly sensitive, and they make it all about them and how much it hurts them or offends them, and it's like, just, the girl is fine, And
you know what? Even if you are offended, why are you fucking crying about it? Why don't you fucking do something about it instead of bitch about it on the internet and your Tumblr page?
Yeah, because that's how, unfortunately, this world is right now. Everybody is it's all about, I hate using the word, PC, politically correct, but it's all about, towing the line and make sure no one gets out of line, and everything is it's PG. It's PG for everybody. Yay! It just
reminds me of fucking Kurt Vonnegut, Harrison Bergeron, where it was a society where everyone had to be made equal. So skinny people had to wear fucking weights and stuff on their bodies to make them a certain weight, and fucking everyone had to perform to the exact same specifications. No one could be better than anyone else. Everyone had to be exactly the same.
I hate that we're getting into this on a beer channel, but I mean, for the same point, it's also beer related, because all these people are freaking out about labels and everything. But in all honesty, here's the thing about freedom of expression and freedom of speech that people don't seem to get. It works both ways. You don't have to agree with the thing that somebody's saying or agree with the thing they believe, but they have the right to feel that way or say that thing. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, there's hate speech in this. Don't listen to him. Tell him he's a fucking retard. You're allowed to say that right back to him.
Yeah. He's allowed to feel the way or you can just ignore them, which is...
What you're not allowed to do is to fucking firestorm those motherfuckers with stuff and basically boot them out of the conversation.
You're not
that's the difference.
You're free to say whatever you want to say, but you're not free to
I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to agree with your belief. I don't have to agree with what you're saying. I don't have to agree with any of that. But you are free to believe that. It does help me decide who I like and who I don't like. Like when gay marriage became a thing in the U.S., there was some people that didn't agree with it, but said it in a politically correct way or said it in a way that didn't make me angry. And there was some people that let me know exactly who I had to befriend. And I mean, it was a fun time for me because I could see some people that were stupid. Now, again, I completely opened up my mind that they are allowed to feel that way. But I'm allowed to feel that they're fucking stupid and don't have to fucking talk to them anymore.
Exactly.
That's the way it is.
And when it comes down to branding, when it comes down to beer brands, when it comes down to companies making beers that they want to call their newest blonde ale Big Titty Ale or whatever, they should be able to fucking do that without anyone fucking browbeating them. And
all you have to do is use your money to speak on whether or not
vote with your fucking dollars. Don't start a fucking hate.
What stupid name? So what? They're allowed to sell it like that.
Put a 400-pound guy with
they don't sell it. That's how they know it's better. It's just like, if anybody ever watches like Bill Maher on HBO, he'll say stuff about like freedom of speech, like, yeah, people are morons for saying certain things, but they have every right to do so. If you think that they don't, or they think that they shouldn't, or virulently oppose people expressing their freedom of speech, no matter how stupid that speech is, you're part of the problem.
Exactly.
You're never allowed to mention Bill Maher again.
Yeah, well, Bill Maher makes me angry, but at the same time, he is right on that one topic. I mean, just like Lachlan is right on that one topic. You're allowed to feel that way. You're allowed to say that. We don't have to agree with it. And the fact that there is actually censorship, and I mean, there's censorship in all of Europe, there's censorship in all of Asia and all that. That's that thing. North America is basically the only place where you have freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And we don't, though, at the same time. We don't, though, because we've had so much social justice shit coming down where you're not allowed to think the way you're thinking.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people are confused about what freedom of speech is. Freedom of speech, everybody has it, especially, well, in the United States, everybody has freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom from consequences.
Exactly.
Freedom of speech is me saying, I can go out the front of my job tomorrow and stand there and say heinous fucking shit that's fucking horrible and scream it. Yeah, the cops might be like, hey, dude, you can't make a fucking, we don't want to get causing a riot here, but I'm not going to get arrested. But my job will fucking fire me because it's a government, it's a right within the government. It's not like, if I could go online, like I have a liberal job, but if I had like a job that was not liberal, like whatever job, but you're not free from getting consequences of what you say, but you're allowed to say whatever the fuck you want. Like all the people that lose their jobs or bad shit happens to them in their life because they said something retarded, they're still free. They're not in jail. They're not fucking like locked up somewhere in a gulag. They screwed their life up because they chose to be an asshole. You know what I mean? So there's a difference between freedom of speech
and exactly what you're saying, and I'm completely agreeing with you. I'm just saying we're basically saying the same thing, just slightly different wording.
Yes.
I mean, my thing is that there shouldn't be a hate campaign from individuals against them for saying it because they're allowed to say it. If they lose their job, if they lose their business, that's what Lee's talking about. Speak with your fucking dollar. I mean, if you own a business and you want to go out and say something like "fuck the Muslims" and people get offended by it, don't buy from them. Guess what? They don't have a job anymore.
Yeah. You can say that. It's just your business might go under.
People shouldn't go out and say you can't say that because you know what? He can say that.
Exactly. It's a culture of fucking social media shaming that is the real poison in all this. I mean, if you don't like what this person is saying, he represents a certain company, brand, product, whatever. You don't buy into that. You just go your way because they're not hurting anybody. A person who makes big titty lager, he's not hurting anyone. He's not raping women. Sure, you might not like the message.
Shouldn't it be big titty milk stout?
Big titty milk stout. There you go.
Depends on if there's a 400-pound dude.
You're a higher thinking misogynist, Nick. There you go. That's awesome. But I mean, if you're not into that, you think, oh, that objectifies women, and I'm not cool with that. Well, fine. Don't buy their fucking beer. Tell your friends personally, don't buy the fucking beer, but don't fucking spread it around fucking social media and Twitter and try to start a hate campaign against people. That's fucking bullshit.
That's what people live for. That's what they live for, Lee.
Because when you do that, you're trying to censor somebody, and when you're trying to censor somebody, you're actually going against your own fucking liberal fucking values. You fucking deluded, fucking hypocritical piece of shit.
I have a friend.
Hateful tonight, baby.
Your friends?
Oh, I have a few friends. I have a friend whose name is Andre. Okay, and he lives in Pennsylvania, and you can probably figure out his race and everything else just by the name. That's okay. Well, whatever.
Oh, can we? Is that because everyone named Andre is a certain race?
He's French. No. Anyway, he actually, and because this goes back to a conversation I apparently missed, he came out when the flag thing was happening, and they started talking about ending the fucking Dukes of Hazzard and all that, and he goes, okay, you know what? I don't agree with the flag. I feel it represents racism and everything else. I understand that some people don't feel it works that way. The only thing I think that should have happened was it was taken off federal buildings. If idiots want to buy the flag, they can buy the flag. If idiots want to support the flag, they can support the flag. That's their right. But it should never be on a federal building.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing.
And that is all they're doing. Yeah.
This stuff about
federal government building. If everybody wants to wave the flag, go right ahead.
Well, no, he was talking about the fact that Amazon has decided not to sell them anymore. People are trying to get rid of the Dukes of Hazzard and all that stuff. He's like, you know what? That's freedom of expression. They're allowed to express that feeling. Yeah, I'm allowed to think they're idiots for it, but they're allowed to express that feeling. And I don't think it's
dumb. Right. I mean, I think
like you can't change a TV show that was made 35 years ago.
Especially not the fucking Dukes of Hazzard. What are you doing?
Did anybody really? Here's the thing. Got a Dixie Lee flag on the top of the car. That was it. Here's
the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. Bo and Luke were not fucking beating up niggers in the fucking corner store or something like that. I mean, that's not what the show was about.
Maybe they just filmed them doing that. They could have possibly been doing that. Who knows? They're crazy guys.
What was the car's name? The car's name was General Lee. And actually, General Lee went on for years after the Civil War trying to make amends for the South and what it did.
And here's the other thing. What do you want to do next? What goes next? You want to ban Gone with the Wind? One of the... I mean, it's a shit movie, but everyone considers it a fucking classic pretty much in the culture. And that one has the Confederate flag flying everywhere. That has the first African-American actress ever to win an Academy Award in it, although she was playing the most stereotypical of African-American you think of. Her character name was Mammy. But, I mean...
Mammy!
But, I mean, come on. I mean, it just goes too far. I mean, that is pandering to social justice shit when you're doing that crap. And it's bullshit, and it should never happen. All it's about is getting that flag off of fucking government stuff, and that is perfectly fucking valid.
And it's stripped the whole fucking, like, South versus what... Like, when's the last time... Name me one fucking culture where, like, a whatever, region or culture went to war with somebody and defeated them, and they said, nah, it's cool, man. Just do your thing that you were doing before. Just fucking, like, fly. Like, the first thing you do when you defeat somebody is you take their fucking flag down. It's like, it's retarded. I don't even understand it. Like
some towns in Germany still flying the swastika or something.
Yeah, and like I told Jay, it's like, what does that flag represent? It represents losers. You guys lost. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sure it's very, it represents heritage and pride for you, but I look at that flag and I see there's the guys who lost the Civil War.
And that's the thing. That's the thing about it. Like, and I don't want to get that too deep into it. It does represent heritage and pride, but the heritage and pride is the problem.
What heritage and pride does that represent? What was that war fought over? Slavery.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you can't just be like, oh, it's heritage, not hate, and be like, well, the heritage is.
So I'm sorry. As much as they guys, I'm going to interrupt this right here because this is something that
Yeah, we shouldn't really do right now.
I was going to say steer clear. I was going to say it's a great political tie, a lot of fun, guys. But let's go back to talking about the 87th Ontario Brewery that opened last week. Let's do that.
It's not. I'm going to say one thing, and then we're going back to beer just because I want to see both Matt and Lee's blood boil. So we've seen all this flag stuff all over Facebook. This one was just posted today. Confederate flag shorts seen at Blues Fest. An image of a man wearing shorts with the Confederate flag on them has been circulating social media after it was taken at Blues Fest in Ottawa today. It has enraged people and calls for explanations of why he was allowed in, and a request for an apology from the Blues Fest have been all over.
Oh, fuck off. He could go in if he wants. I mean, anyone who fucking decided they wanted to assault that guy for wearing a fucking Confederate flag on this thing, I'd defend his fucking right. I'd defend him. I'd be on his fucking side. I don't care if he's a fucking racist or what. I wouldn't give a shit because he has no right to be assaulted just for fucking having Confederate flag.
Exactly. You know what it is? It's a calling card for knowing who assholes are. Like that's okay. Now I don't want to converse with this person or hang out with them. Okay, great. At least people would put name tags on going, I hate this shit, and there was a list of shit. And be like, okay, yeah, fuck you, I'm not hanging out with you.
When you wear that, it's representing you, and you're coming across as somebody who might be a racist or a bigot. Big deal. You're allowed to wear that.
It's just more social justice bullshit. I mean, listen, I'm a big punk rock fan. I have no problem with, like, there was a big trend in early punk rock in the late 70s, early 80s for punk rockers to wear fucking swastikas and shit on their fucking clothing. I like fucking Motorhead. Lemmy is a collector of fucking Nazi memorabilia. Does that make him a fucking racist?
Trick question. Lemmy's God, not a racist.
Exactly.
Trick question. You just said you like fucking Motorhead. The entire group at once.
Everybody's sort of like, I don't know.
Yeah, you've been kicked out now because of that.
Because I like Motorhead?
Yeah.
You'd like fucking Motorhead.
No.
Fuck you! I'll start another fucking group.
He will fuck every single member he finds cute.
Okay, and he finds them all cute. No,
Really?
I mean, and that's
Wonder
the
about
thing.
that,
Like, there is a lot of weird cultural things. I mean, I like craft beer. Does that make me this and this? Like, it's just stupid. Just this, and we've gone so far off of beer that it doesn't matter. And I don't think we'll get back to it tonight. I mean, it's
totally ruined the chat.
It didn't ruin the chat, but I've probably lost a bunch of subs tonight. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it was probably because of Jay. All right, so I wanted to, Matt, we were talking on your show yesterday, and I was trying to remember the brewery from PA that did a fucking session IPA for their anniversary beer. It was Victory, and it was their 19, and they did a session IPA.
So it wasn't Weyerbacher, which is what the original one you thought it was.
Yeah, so then I was like, it was either them, Trogs, or Victory, and it was Victory. And it was
that actually makes sense. They lean towards that shit sometimes. So we did the pills a couple weeks ago.
Anyway, YouTube, I'm gonna click the offline button.
Right.